based on that. So they're a pretty honest team. They play their roles really well. They're really disciplined. Obviously, the scoreboard goes with their contested ball and stoppage work. When they're on top in those two departments, they generally get momentum and score pretty heavily. So, for us, we need to really make sure that we're even with them or ahead in the contested ball status and the clearance battle, and try and get the ball inside to out and make them defend really hard with our ball movement. So it'll be a tough old game out here today, I reckon.
Now, it'd be remiss of me before we let you go, Danny. We know you got to go. It's 10-2. You introduced me to my first wife, who was a babysitter. Do you have any other babysitters?
No. Learn your lesson.
Oh, man, you didn't speak to me for 12 months because of that. Like, I'm not going to go down that path again, mate. I really enjoyed catching up with you. So,
how many houses you want to lose?
Danny Daly, we'll let you go on that note. Good luck for today.
Thanks, boys. Have a great call.
Was your first wife seriously Danny Daly's babysitter?
Yes. Back in 2016, he said, I've got a babysitter who's going on a blind date, and one thing led to another, a couple of kids, 8 years, and a divorce. Thanks a lot, Danny.
Tick all the boxes.
Triple M Footy prime time for Mitsubishi Heavy Industries. Mitsubishi Heavy Industries Air Conditioners Australia. Put your trust in the experts in air. Interesting to hear Danny basically say the Zach Bailey decision, if it's about money, they can't. You read between the lines there. If it's on a money basis, they can't compete.
Yeah.
But if Zach is prepared, if it's about more than just money from Zach, they sound pretty confident about him staying.
You just have to look at the depth on their list, and you think, Crows are having a good season too, right? So we can't discount them. But you'd think, gee, there's a big chance we could play in a lot of finals in the next 6 or 7 years if I hang around. So.
Well, that's the thing, right?
Cash, did you?
I chased the premiership. I would have gone elsewhere if I had chased cash. But I think that's the big thing, right? Like, he can stay here for probably $1 million. I don't think they really pay over $1 million Brisbane to keep the list together. Or he could go somewhere at 1.6, but he may not enjoy his footy as much. And to be fair, and I don't think Zach would mind me saying this, I don't think he's the hardest trainer going around, but I think Josh Dunkley grabbed him over the last couple of years and has shown him a lot. So I think for him, his best spot would be to stay here, and he would make a lot off the field anyway, potentially. If you go on and you're a premiership, 4 or 5-time premiership player who was close to a Norm Smith medalist last year, you can make that up. I know it's a lot.
Even
it's
in
600.
Brisbane?
Well, the thing that the longevity, right? If you're winning games of footy every week, it's a lot easier to play. So if you go down to Adelaide, it's cold, and you go to a club and it doesn't work out, and no one knows what tomorrow brings. But if you go to a footy club and you start losing games of footy, it could push you to an earlier retirement where he could play here, and he's not going to get pushed out the door.
Obviously, he went to school at Prince Alfred College there in South Australia, so there's a history there. And
his parents moved up here.
So there's all these. But look, as to Rocky's point, if you win 3 premierships at this club, you can turn up for whatever job you've got whenever you want, as Simon Black is demonstrating right now. Still nowhere to be seen. We've been on air for 25 minutes and he's not here.
Well, Ash McGrath played in one, and they just flew him over the footy club for the best moment in the last 30 years or something like that.
It's a miracle on grass.
Doesn't pay the bills.
Well, it can.
If you monetise it right.
I wonder if you can call footy.
Simon Black's at a food and wine festival in Fortitude Valley right now, getting paid how much in an envelope? We don't know.
I mean, there's no doubt Lockyer will not be here next year, so that frees a lot of money up. I reckon they can just up it a little bit, and I reckon that'll be enough to entice him to stay.
Well, then the next question they've got to decide is how much is it going to cost them? Obviously, Danny and all the other boffins behind the scenes will be doing the maths on how much it's going to cost them to keep Logan Morris. Because that young man is going to would deservedly ask for a hefty price tag to keep his services in the form he's in right now.
Yeah. That's a problem of having too many good players, right?
Well, he's effectively, if he went to the open market, you would think close to 2s, you would have thought.
If you're Tasmania, they have the right to pinch one uncontracted player from every club in the comp, and if you had to look over this Brisbane Lions list, you wouldn't go too far past Logan Morris.
Why couldn't you pay him 2? So Nass apparently is on 1.718.
Yeah.
Harley Reid's around that number.
Logan Morris
struggle
has with the concept of paying a young kid that much.
But that's because you earned a total of $2 million in your entire career.
I wish.
He's kicked double the amount of goals what Jonathan Brown kicked at the same point in their careers.
Yeah, no, I
get all
that, and there's still potential ahead. But
be able to buy Cadena for that.
Sometimes
You don't think
a
he'd be
big
worth
contract like that?
You don't think
with
he'd be worth $2
lots
million
of
on the
money?
open market?
He could potentially. I don't think he'd get $2 million, but I reckon he'd get at least 1.5, or maybe just a little bit over. But I just hope it doesn't hurt his hunger, Rock, is what I'm saying.
Well, Zach Bailey's been offered 1.5, 1.6.
Zach's a lot more experienced. He's a lot older. I just struggle with the concept of paying a young kid that much money. Can sometimes just bring them into a realm of being comfortable and not hungry.
This is the young man that had a classic barbecue
McDonald's.
Angus meal and 6 nuggets before his debut.
Yeah.
I think his appetite's just fine. Ream Hot Water, built tough for Aussie conditions when it comes to water heating. Ask your plumber to install a Ream, getting you ready for what should be, as Danny Daly pointed out, a hard contest this afternoon for the Brisbane Lions. Port Adelaide, they have not got belted once this year. I think opening round's their biggest loss. They went down to the Kangaroos by about 46 points. And everything up until now has been a real hard-fought contest. As his lordship strolls in. Oh, no.
Hey,
He's on
Oh,
crutches.
no.
Wow.
Oh, no.
There's a story.
Simon Black's just rolled into the box.
He's had his way with Kane Corns out the back and really
With a
fixed
moon
it
boot
up.
on.
Well, we're going to go to a break, and on the other side of this, we'll get the full story as Simon Black takes a seat.
This is big news.
This is breaking news. A late out potentially in the Triple M commentary box. What has happened to Simon Black? We'll find out after this. From McDonald's and Ream Hot Water, Triple M, Rocks Footy.
Triple M Footy, prime time for Mitsubishi Heavy Industries Air Conditioners Australia. Put your trust in the experts in air.
For Ream Hot Water and McDonald's.
Triple M Rocks Footy.
I built that, and that, and that. I even did a job for a guy over there too.
If this sounds like you, then you, my sweat-filled full-tilt job site juggernaut, are a true tradie. And as a true tradie, you know a thing or two. Like Mitre 10, who have dedicated trade teams, expert advice, fast and on-time deliveries, stock quality trade materials, and are the trusted partner in the trade. You also know there's nothing better than a site next to a trade centre. Mitre 10 Trade for true tradies.
Not sure how to get started with radio? BrandWorks is your easy access into radio advertising with a simple plan and creative included. Plus monthly support from your local team so you know it's working. Your message runs in trusted local shows on your local Triple M station, and you'll tap into Australia's largest regional radio audience. Seats are limited. Register for a BrandWorks seminar today. Go to advertise.listener.com/BrandWorks to contact us today.
Ever said near enough is good enough? Excuse us for a tick. This ad's not for you. Now we've lost anyone who's whacking spark plugs in with a hammer, let's talk Pro to Pro. When upgrading to high-quality precision tools and equipment, choose Warren & Brown. Equipment for torque setting, soldering, the workshop and garage, hand tools and more. Warren & Brown, manufacturers and suppliers of quality precision tools since 1921. Info at wbtools.com.au.
Imagine not having clean clothes to wear, or even someone to talk to on a daily basis. For thousands of Australians, that's the reality they wake up to every day. Orange Sky is there for people doing it tough or experiencing homelessness by offering free laundry, warm showers, and a genuine moment of connection. You can help bring hope, connection, and care to someone who needs it. Donate or volunteer today at orangesky.org.au. Every little bit truly helps.
They call this the lucky country. Trouble is, there's only so much luck to go around. See, for everyone finding a gold coin,
Oh, stoked! I found $2.
there's a newlywed whose gold ring is falling down the drain. Lucky Amy has optional cover for portable valuables.
Lucky you're with Amy.
Before buying contents insurance issued by Amy, read the PDS and TMD at amy.com.au and consider whether it's right for you.
With a little ambition, you can go anywhere. Like reaching the top of your own personal peak. After hours and hours of scrambling, which started with hours and hours of driving, but you kept going, driven by the challenge and fueled by a full tank, because your ambition can tackle anything at any elevation. Go from A to anywhere with Ampol Amplified Premium Fuels. Ampol, Australia's own.
You hear that? That's the sound of something building. Not just anything. That's someone's future. Some people build the hard way. But
Cbus, you can do it the smart way. Cbus Super. Build your something. Read the PDS and TMD to decide if Cbus is right for you.
Shut up! The footy's on Triple M!
Triple M rocks footy.
This quarter for Totally Workwear. Layer up, lock in and take on winter footy. Brought to you by Totally Workwear.
Sun is shining, players are out on the deck. The Gabba looks $1 million as we get you ready for this round 20 clash between the Brisbane Lions and Port Adelaide. Liam Flanagan alongside Richard Champion, Tom Rockler, joined in the box by the 300-plus gamer, the three-time premiership superstar, Simon Black. Good afternoon, Blackie.
G'day, boys. Great to be with you. Yeah, what a cracking afternoon. Apologies, I've been a bit late. The New Farm Festival has got a hold of me. It's like a crab pot. Once you get in there, you cannot get out, champs.
Bugger.
And on crutches.
Yeah, I had a heel operation throughout the week, Rock. I've had it for a couple of years, and it was time to get the back of the heel cut off. And
all right.
We've been crutches for a couple of weeks.
Sounds nasty.
Let's see how this goes. I don't have to turn on the lights or do anything.
It's the main thing. Just in time for the game, Blackie.
Owen in the side, boys. I know he's come off a long layoff as well. Had a tough game.
Gambling with. For free and confidential support, visit gamblinghelponline.org.au.
G'day, sports fans. Lots happening today, including two AFL games.
Nation
First
going.
up, Brisbane expected to beat Port Adelaide. The line's just $1.09. Port Adelaide $7.25, and the line at 44.5. Well, a really fascinating game at Marvel Stadium. North Melbourne up against St Kilda. The Kangas $2.70, the Saints $1.46, the line 14.5, and the over/under 178.5. Lots of bet types in that fixture. One that's always popular, the Group A most disposals. Harry Sheasel had 33 touches last week. He's at $2.20 to get the most from that group. Wanganeen Miller a $5 chance. Brad Hill $6.75 and Luke Parker $7.50. An early look to Thursday night footy. Collingwood up against Geelong. Money for the Cats into $1.88. Collingwood at $1.92. And soccer fans, the Australia Cup in action today. Both Melbourne City and Melbourne Victory expected to get the victory. Both of them hot favourites. You can check those many markets on the Ladbrokes app, and please gamble responsibly.
Punt with Ladbrokes' new Fast app. Find and track footy same-game multis quicker than ever. What are you really gambling with? For free and confidential support, visit gamblinghelponline.org.au.
This is the pre-game show for Early Pay Better Business on your terms. Search Early Pay today. Adam White, Matthew Cox and also Luke Hodge with you as we officially welcoming Hodgie. Bright, sunny weather. It is good for footy.
Yes, good morning, Whitey. Matty, how are you? It's can't complain out here. It's a beautiful sunny day, 22 degrees. This is the day that you want to play football in the middle of winter. But well, I think a lot of people looked into this game expecting it should go one way. But look at Port Adelaide, even though they've only won the 6 games for the year, their percentage is still 99. So look, they've beaten Adelaide, who are in a top 6 team. They've lost them the first time by only 1 point. They've pushed the Doggies by 3 points. So I think we'll expect that the Lions should be able to do it comfortably, but you just don't know what kind of Port Adelaide you're going to get.
And Hodgie, even with the injuries that Port Adelaide have had, and you think, oh, they'll fall away now.
Hang on.
They didn't. And then they get a couple of key players back this week with Georgiades and Horn Francis. And yeah, they've just, and I think it's a very easy way to explain things, but I think it's also a very good way to explain things. They've been hard to play against.
Yeah, I think that's the mindset. When you're a team down the bottom, that's the first folks you need to be. You've got to be able to compete, but you want the opposition teams to know there's going to be a fight out there, and that's what Port Adelaide have been able to do. And you mentioned the injuries. I'm going through this, probably 6 or 7. They slipped straight back into this Port Adelaide team, and it's led by Butters and Rosie. But then all of a sudden you get Horn Francis back in, but then they throw Ollie Wines back into the middle. He's a Brownlow medalist. Yes. So you sort of look at the depth that these guys would have had, and you can see why they played so many deep finals under Ken Hinkley with the list that they have injured, but they're still competing. So this is where the Lions really trouble a lot of teams, because once that main 2 or 3 midfielders rotate out, then they throw in a Zach Bailey, a Cam Rayner, a Hugh McCluggage, who was All-Australian last year. So the depth of the Lions is the fear factor for a lot of teams.
Both teams are out there doing their warm-ups at the moment. For Ream, who's running hot with over 80 years of manufacturing hot water in Australia, it's got to be Ream. And Matthew Cox, as you joined me in the central commentary position, Brisbane are just showing off here. We're talking about Port Adelaide being sort of under the pump with injuries, they just decide to let Coleman and Allen just have another week off. But not required. They're emergencies this week.
Massage and ease them back in, given the various disruptions throughout, well, for Coleman the last couple of years, and for Allen you could probably say the same, given how things ended at the West Coast Eagles. So no change for their side today, Brisbane. For Port Adelaide, as already alluded to, Jason Horne-Francis and Mitch Georgiades
injury-wise, we're doing
with Jack Watkins. Going out, Jacob Ware omitted and Jackson Mead also omitted. But the one player that I wanted to speak to you about, Hodgie, Joe Richards, who was great last week for Port Adelaide in their competitive performance against Fremantle, but unfortunately he's now on the sidelines with a finger injury. So even when you do get a good run at it, unfortunately the injury curse strikes again at Port Adelaide.
Yeah, and I think that's the luck you have with football. Sometimes you get a run and you sit here and go, geez, how easy is our season been? Everyone's healthy, but then it can turn around. I think if you look at 5-6 weeks ago when Richmond played the Brisbane Lions down at Hobart, Richmond had 15 injuries, the Lions had 14, and all of a sudden you look at the Lions injury and they got 3. Yes. So that's the luck of the draw sometimes, and you feel for Port Adelaide, and you do feel for Kari. The fact that he's coming in, all coaches want to have an impact in his first year, and he hasn't been able to do what he wants with that main team on there. Like, to have your skipper, Rosie, who was playing some really good footy before getting injured. Butters was in elite form. Like, the way everyone's sort of saying it's a farewell season for him. The way he's played, you just got to give full respect to him, considering the decision that's put on his shoulders for the next 7 years, I guess. But yeah, it's the luck of the draw, and unfortunately for Port Adelaide and Kari, that they seem to have a lot in that category at this stage.
This is the pre-game show for Early Pay Working Capital Finance. The warm-ups are almost completed for Reem, who's running hot this winter. Reem, of course. Before we get to the unmissable moment, Hodgie, I'm just interested in your thoughts. So beautiful weather conditions, perfect for football, as we've mentioned. It also means potentially high scoring, and while we think it could be competitive because of how Port Adelaide have gone this year, Brisbane really do have an opportunity here to try and extend that break against Adelaide and improve that percentage. So they can go a game and potentially percentage now clear inside the top 4.
Yeah, and I think that's the hardest thing for a team like the Brisbane Lions. Their whole goal, and Chris Fagan has been around football for a long period of time, and he'll be out there telling his players it's the simple things. You've got to do the simple things well against the lesser teams. And if you don't, Port Adelaide will take advantage of it. So I guess a lot of spectators have rocked up here today, and as you said, perfect weather, hoping that you see convincing Brisbane Lions outfit get a decent win. But I can tell you what, Chris Fagan will just want these players to be simple. Just if you get 5, 6, 7 goals up, don't be leery. They got some young forwards in that Brisbane line forward line that they like a snap from the pocket. They like to do the fancy stuff. They like to celebrate with the big Brisbane Lions supporters here. But for Chris Fagan, he just wants a disciplined, strategic 4-quarter effort that will help them build into another finals campaign.
Now, you obviously know Chris very well. I could imagine though that any talk of percentage in the room, so he'd just do his block. Do
you know how you've got that? Do you know who's that cuddly father figure? Don't get ahead of yourself around Chris Fagan, I can tell you that, because all of a sudden that little cuddly man turns into a ferocious with that frown on his forehead, which I've seen a number of times over the time I've spent with him. So I think the good thing about that Brisbane Lions team is if they do start to get a bit leery, they've got enough mature players out there to be able to rein it back in. So if it is a 10 or 15 minute patch throughout a quarter, you know at that next quarter time break it will be mentioned by either Chris or the senior players. So that's why they can normally control themselves for the back end of a game if they do get a decent lead.
Talking about unmissable moments to drink wise, you won't miss a moment if you drink wise. Choose to drink wise. We'll get plenty of those throughout today.
I think
I was at the MCG last night, Hodgie, to see one of your former teammates, Jack Gunston, get to 600 AFL goals, and he did it in style, typical of Jack. His goal kicking last night was outstanding, but just the achievement to get that many goals.
Yeah, I'm sick of him pretending that he doesn't like the attention. He's kidding himself when he was all the players come up to him like they'll put a crown on him like they did after the 500 goals,
and
him
stay in that
walking
top
away
4
as if
spot
it's like,
for now.
I don't want this to carry on, mate. He went out by himself so the cameras get a close up of him. That's all that was. But in fairness, for a bloke who I thought was probably when he went back to Hawthorn, and I think Mitch had the conversation with him saying that, mate, you've come back in to be a leader of this football club, is to help develop the guys around you. And he put that much time and effort into his body. He's still got his power, still got his strength, that he's still the number 1 forward. If he didn't get injured, he'd be leading the Coleman right as we speak. So it's a credit to him how he's continued the strong mindset. He had a year away to Brisbane to help re-energise him. And, yeah, you just got to pat him on the back and say well done for the footy he's playing.
Yeah, he's been absolutely fantastic at the Hawks now for a long time, with a little bit of Adelaide and a little bit of Brisbane as well. That has been the pre-game show for Early Pay. Better business on your terms. Search Early Pay today. We're not far away from the opening bounce. Brisbane in their traditional strip. Port Adelaide in their electric blue, wearing the light blue with the black double V. It looks, I reckon, a really attractive jumper. Much better wearing that one than the white one, Matty. Over to you for the first ball up.
Or the grey one that they had for a number of years, which was just horrible. Grey doesn't work in the AFL. Ball up to get us underway. AFL Nation for DD and Victoria Police. Draper with a little toe poke out of the ruck contest after it came to ground. Evans takes possession. He's taken into the turf by Lohman. Spills to Drew. Loops the handball, trying to reach Burgoyne. He was disrupted by Wilmot. McCluggage on the scene. Takes possession now for the Lions. Goes down the boundary line. Didn't quite get to Levi Ashcroft. Horn Francis. Hot handball to Burn Jones. Still at half back. Now they release the kick to the wing. Port Adelaide. But in front, Dane Zorko takes the intercept mark.
Zorko on the wing will get 50 metres as well. So a player in the protected zone. Dane Zorko doing the umpiring to make sure that the umpire knew, Hodgie. And the umpire said, yep, fair enough. On you go. He's going to kick deep into the pocket. Not a great kick off hands. It's gone out of bounds for a throw-in.
Yeah, I think this is the one that they want him feeling good, Zorko. It was a good start, great intercept mark by him, but with that as well, he had that hamstring last week over in Perth, which played little time, but he looked pretty fresh to start the game.
Deep in the forward pocket for the Lions. Ball gets thrown in. Draper in the ruck. Against him, Sweet, knocked on by Draper, almost to the top of the goal square. Oh, marked the Draper, not 15, came out of the pack. Even he was surprised he marked it, then got dispossessed, and the Port Adelaide can clear towards the middle of the ground.
Through Zatto to the centre wing, underneath the Georgiades, couldn't take the mark. Gallop comes up with it and bursts it inside 50 with a tumble punt. Spills to Will Ashcroft, dribbling, goal! Will Ashcroft with another superb goal, an early snag of the day contender for Tasman Butchers, the meat specialists. Brisbane 1 straight 6, Port Adelaide yet to score for Tyre Power, your trusted tyre experts. Luke Hodge with us for Sheen Panel Service.
Oh, what can't this fella do?
Oh.
Like, for 95% of the people who grabbed that, who rushed it onto his boot, they would have said it was a miss kick. But I reckon I've seen him do this.
Yeah, his form's been really good.
3 or 4 times the last 2 months of footy. Just the smarts to be in the right spot for a drop of a ball, but be able to throw it onto his boot that quick, and he just doesn't miss around the ground. Anyway, set shot's got a few questions to be answered, but look, this is just another good start for Lions. They've done this a number of times early up here at the Gabba, won the first clearance, got it out, and then multiple inside 50s, putting the pressure on Port Adelaide early.
A couple of early inside 50s for the home side and a goal. We've only played 90 seconds. Back in the middle, Draper soccers off the ground for Brisbane. Inside 50 again. Morris couldn't control it on the half volley. Jones comes in for Port Adelaide, disrupts the play. Will Ashcroft crashes in as well, wins it. Handball to Dunkley, couldn't get a handle on the footy low down. Eventually he did, scooped up a handball. Rayner, tackled by Drew, got through the tackle, fed a handball out. It goes wide for the Lions. Ashcroft in the frame again. Burgoyne crashed in, got the ball out of bounds. We'll have a throw in. 60 round for Brisbane's goal right half forward. It looks like Will's playing at half forward here, Hodgie, rather than starting in the centre square.
Yeah, just a high half forward will push up. He's at the back of the stoppage behind Draper at the moment, just trying to block it in.
Ball thrown in, reaching over the top. Sweet wins it back to the front. Levi Ashcroft lurking. It ricochets off the knee or leg of Dunkley, and that means it will be a free kick to Port Adelaide at half back.
Trailing by 6, Bergman. He sprints off, sends it towards the centre wing. Sweet and Draper. Draper wins out, not paid the mark. Had to give it off quickly to Wilmot, has time and space. Just pops it over the top and finds Levi Ashcroft. Attacking side of the broadcast wing. Lions by 6. Looking to go inside 50 once again. Ashcroft takes off, was confronted by Zatto, had to put the handball to his brother, who was also claimed. And they're under the pump a little bit at half forward, Brisbane. They've coughed it up. It'll be a ball up. It was Dammit that applied the tackling pressure on Will Ashcroft that time around. Draper trying to clear the ruck contest. Spilled to Bergman. Drew out wide for Horn Francis. He takes possession. Just in from the boundary line. Goes towards left half forward. The deepest Port Adelaide have been out the back of the contest. Marshall hooks it back inboard inside 50, and the mark will be taken by Bammett, who plays on quickly. Spotted a teammate in the corridor. The kick didn't quite get to him. It's Watkins. Flicked the hand pass back to Lai. He goes back to Watkins, right half forward, pokes it into the pocket. On the bounce, didn't quite get to Durden, did well to navigate the traffic. Andrews tries to nullify, spills to Dunkley, and the Lions try to clear.
Oh, and they can just. Bouncing off a tackle, Bailey. Handball to McCluggage. They're going through the corridor. They get to defensive 50. Next handball, Little Aaron inside the centre square. Georgiades takes it for Port. Quick handball to Jones, to Watkins. Gets tackled, but did get a handball away to Burgoyne. Kind of has a little bit of a fumble, then scooped it up with a handball out wide. Durden, handballs to Jones. This is all messy. It's all at half forward for Port. Finally the kick into the 50. Up goes Berry for the Lions. He can't take the mark. Big tackle from Wilmot. Gets the stoppage about 20 metres out from goal as Zato tried to get the footy for Port.
At least they're inside 50 for the time being. Sweet, the tap down. Just missed Georgiades. Whitlock going to ground. Andrews trying to hold it in. Spills out to McCluggage. He finds Levi Ashcroft. Sends it to the broadcast wing. Evans didn't quite take the mark for Port Adelaide, but links up with the 1-2 from Jones. The delivery inside 50 is just a little awry again. Sweet hooking it towards the goal square. No one home. Zorko takes the easy intercept mark. They're holding up early, the Brisbane Lions. As they go towards half-back, a nice mark will be taken by Dunkley.
He immediately plays on with a handball into the middle to Bailey, to Will Ashcroft, to Rayner in the centre circles, got tackled, still was able to get a handball free. Will Ashcroft to half forward, on the bounce, collecting it is McCluggage, and a wonderful kick to Cameron across the body, and Cameron's marked 40 out from goal. Hodgie.
Yeah, I think that's the difference between the two sides. Port Adelaide
going to kick the
had
goal,
a number
man.
of opportunities going inside 450, but it was just those simple little kicks. I reckon there was 4 or 5 kicks over the last 3 minutes for Port Adelaide where they've turned the ball over or just missed the spot, and then you get it going the other way. Hugh McCluggage, one inside 50 and hits Charlie Cameron on the chest.
Luke Hodge for Sheen panel service with us on AFL Nation. Cameron shoots at goal from 40, leans back on it. Oh, it hits the post. About three-quarters of the way up, so only a behind there to Charlie Cameron. The Lions 1-1-7. Port Adelaide yet to score. That's on the Tyre Power scoreboard. Your trusted tyre experts. We've played 7 minutes.
Our major partner on AFL Nation is 4-20 Pies, Australia's original fan food. As Evans, he let the kick go and then's hobbling behind play. Ball spills to Will Ashcroft. He sends the Lions back inside attacking 50. And Lohman on the lead takes the mark. Another poor turnover from Port Adelaide.
I think he's in trouble, Evans. He's going to the bench for Krause Electrical and Solar. He put the hand up, Hodgie, and said, I'm in trouble.
Yeah, it's a slow little shuffle over the bench at the moment. But if I was a half-back out on for Port Adelaide, I'll be making sure to step a little bit closer to Will Ashcroft. He's had the 6 touches already.
So he's running hot for Ream. Who's running hot this winter? Ream, of course. Will Ashcroft, of course, as Lohman curling it around from the left forward pocket. Puts through Brisbane's second.
There we
go.
1-13.
Port Adelaide yet to score. On the Tyre Power scoreboard, Australia's biggest independent tyre retailer. Luke Hodge is our expert this afternoon on AFL Nation for Sheen Panel Service. Come for the right repair advice. Call 1300-REPAIR.
13 zip so far.
Well, we spoke just about Will Ashcroft. He just had the composure. And it's centre forward for Brisbane Lions. He picks the ball up. There's no pressure on him whatsoever. And if you're going to allow, first of all, Hugh McCluggage to hit Charlie Cameron and then Will Ashcroft to hit Kyle Lohman, you're going to be in trouble as a defensive unit. But as far as forwards hitting their straps at the right time, Kyle Lohman has kicked 15 goals in the last 4 games. So he's been on fire up there, been lively, and he's one that really sparks his crowd.
AFL Nation for DD, SIDD, and for Victoria Police careers apply now. Back in the middle after 8 minutes, the Lions 13, Port Adelaide yet to score. Thrown up in the middle, fought in the ruck for the Lions. Winning it down, almost socked off the ground by Wines unintentionally. Rayner picks up the ball for the Lions. Was able to get a handball free as he was tackled. Crashing in for Port was Zadau, which is at least able to neutralise the situation and force a stoppage inside the centre square, Brisbane side.
That's twice Cameron has got the ball, tried to burst through a tackle. We love it when he does that, but he's also got to give the hands for the first options there.
Sweet was on the bottom of the ground, or bottom of the turf there. here at the Gabba. The Lions do get a kick inside 50. Coming out hard was Hipwood. Front and centre, Bailey up to full forward. The ball's loose at the top of the square. Ali got there first, socket into the pocket. Goes again off the ground like he's playing soccer. Out towards the boundary. And it goes out of bounds. And it will be thrown in about 55 metres around from Brisbane's goal. Again attacking left half forward.
Too much soccer there for Alir. If you're on your defensive 50, I can understand a toe poke to get in front of you, but the next one, pick the ball up.
Yeah, they just look a little clumsy and fumbly, Port Adelaide, to start this match this afternoon. Not the desire and endeavour we saw against Fremantle last week, as Fletcher wins the contest from the boundary throw-in, sends it inside 50. Cameron! 2 bites, and the mark has been paid.
Aaron Cameron.
He had a few people in the contest that he was battling with there, Charlie Cameron. He's taken the mark about 35 out, left forward pocket. In his 200th appearance as a Brisbane Lions player this afternoon. 73 games with Adelaide to bring his total, and this time it's across the face again and will be knocked through for a minus score. So 2 behinds for Cameron early. The Lions 2-2-14. Port Adelaide yet to score for Tyre Power.
Are there red lights flashing at Hodgie in the Port Adelaide coach's box?
Yeah, a few concerns. Well, it's more so the fact that every time they've got out of their back 50, it's just been pressure. They've had no uncontested possession. It's all been forced. And because of that pressure, they've been missing kicks.
They've kicked it out to the far side of the ground off hands. It's gone out of bounds, but they have at least been able to get it well and truly outside Brisbane's forward 50 as the ball gets thrown in near the wing. On the outer side of the ground, Sweet knocks it back to the boundary, straight to the Port Adelaide bench. And we'll do it all again. It's 14-0 after 11 minutes of play on the Tyre Power scoreboard. Your trusted tyre experts, Adam White, Matthew Cox and Luke Hodge with you from the Gabba. As Fort again in the ruck with Sweet. Sweet again winning it down to the front to Wines, back to Sweet, handballs to Drew, back to Wines. They worked that well up towards half forward. It was a rush kick by Wines, and as a result, it's picked off. Now the long kick towards centre half forward for the Lions towards Hipwood. That came from Leicester. Hipwood couldn't mark. Jones mops up for Port. Wide handball. Horn Francis has a fumble. In for support there was Jones. He crashed in. Then sitting on top of the footy is O'Brien. And again, there'll be a stoppage 50 metres out from Brisbane's goal.
Great second effort there from Hipwood. Made a contest and then later tackle to keep it in.
Tap down to Will Ashcroft. Pokes it to the left forward pocket. And the man we were just speaking about, Eric Hipwood, takes the mark. 25 out, 45-degree angle edging into the left forward pocket.
Well, that's good reward for the work he did. As I said, he made the first contest, then laid a big tackle to keep it in there. He'll be fighting. He needs to put a few goals through. Oscar Allen is chomping at the bit to get a spot in his forward line. He played his 3rd game in the VFL yesterday, where they had a good win over North Melbourne.
Like
but he wouldn't hit the scoreboard just from any spot.
He's done the 1%ers early for -1 refrigerated transport. Can he convert? 6 goals so far this season. This is his 6th match of the season this afternoon, and he's hooked it badly to the right. A minus score. Inaccuracy starting to come into play early for the Brisbane Lions. 2-3-15. Port Adelaide yet to score for Tyre Power, your trusted tyre experts.
Yes, that's 5 scoring shots already to the Lions, but for only 2 goals. As Jones brings it into play for Port inside the centre square, and Vicentini taking a strong mark and getting on with it quickly. They're a real chance here, Port. They've almost got to half forward. The long kick towards goal is away to the right and through for a minus score. Georgiades in all sorts of space at half forward and took it upon himself to have a shot, but he missed from outside the 50.
That was just poor by Georgiades. Whitlock was by himself. Harris Andrews was playing 15 metres in front of him, and Whitlock was running to the goal square. It was all by himself. Blazed away.
Poor decision-making for Port Adelaide cost them an opportunity where they needed to capitalise. Ball went out to Dunkley. He retreated back to Andrews. He now sends it to the wing in the direction of Dunkley. He got clobbered. Horn Francis on the up. Port Adelaide move it back inside 50. And floating in Harris Andrews. Whitlock beaten by Fletcher in that contest as well. Hoists the handball to Gallup. Tries to exit along the outer side, disrupted. Vicentini pops it back into dangerous territory for Port Adelaide. Berry, the tackle on Bailey, spills to Andrews. He found Gallup. It was smothered. Berry tries to keep it alive, but couldn't quite get there. Another minor score on the board for Port Adelaide, trailing by 13.
Josh Carr will be extremely happy with that. They're 2 or 3 for Port Adelaide small forwards, putting immense pressure on the Brisbane Lions defence.
You can see Berry's eyes light up if there's a chance there. It just wouldn't bounce for him. Fletcher runs into the field of play. Goes out to the outer side with a long raking kick that works, and Hipwood takes the mark for the Lions. Will chip it on. Hangs in the air for a while. That made it hard for Rayner. Spoil came over the top. Bailey went off the ground. Port win the footy back. Drew, looping handball over the top towards Bammett. He got taken high as he got the handball away. Advantage will be paid here with Whitlock and Burgoyne involved. It comes back to Bammett on his trusty left. He kicks the ball inside 50, but the ball falls short, and Fort takes the defensive mark for Brisbane.
Here he goes short to Will Ashcroft. Still in the harder defensive 50. Hands it to Tunstall. He takes a bounce. Trotting across right half back for the Brisbane Lions. And gets the 1-2. Does Tunstall. Sends it to half forward. Big contest created by Zerk Thatcher. Tunstall ends up with a footy again. There's a Lions player down behind play. Ball to the top of the square. And Bailey takes the mark over the top of Lai.
Cam Rayner just got a nice knee square in the back. He got up. He was a bit ginger, but he's told the doctors just leave him alone. He's all good. The one thing about Cam Rayner is he's got a long memory, so he'll find out who did that, and he'll stay out of his road for the rest of the game.
Yeah, watch out, Zerk Thatcher, for the rest of the game, I would suggest.
It was all fair. It was all fair, though. It was a good, strong spoil.
And it's created the opportunity for Zach Bailey from a 45-degree angle at the top of the square. It's sprayed right, but it's gone through just.
There we go.
And Brisbane now
Mr. Bailey's
again
done it.
capitalised, going inside 50, 3-3-21 plays, just 2 behinds for Tyre Power, your trusted tyre experts. The goal kicking, has that been worked on at all, Hodgie, during the week?
Well, that one there, I thought he missed it. The umpire has put in the hard yards, a good 5 or 6, 7 metres hard to his left. Just snuck it in, but this is the funny thing about the Lions, and it's been like that for a number of years. They'll have days where they'll kick 10 goals, 20, and it keeps other teams in the game, but the fact is they get the ball inside 450 and up. But the pleasing thing then for the Brisbane Lions there was even the young guys coming through. Jimmy Tunstall had the confidence to take a bounce on the half-back line, hit it lower to Ryan Lester. He ran, got it back, and then Jimmy Tunstall's the one who finished off the play that kicked it to Bailey.
Zach Bailey already 7 disposals and a goal for AIA. Do it for life. Back in the middle, Lockie Neal onto the loose ball. Gave a handball, wanting Dunkley, didn't quite find him, then forced to tackle to keep the ball under the player in Horn Francis. Been paid holding the ball against Horn Francis. Gee, that's harsh. The Lions win the free kick, go deep inside 50. Massive crash of players. They all fall down except for a couple of Port Adelaide defenders. One of them's Jones, who can clear for Port out to the far side of the ground. No mark to Whitlock, kept it to the front. Horn Francis collects for Port. Dodging, weaving, sort of confronted by Neal, so is able to shape the kick around the body well. And Durden takes the mark for Port on the wing.
Just in front of the Crowes Electrical and Solar bench. Durden goes into the middle of the ground. Vicentini took the mark, gave the quick hands to Horn Francis, who delivers it on a platter to Marshall inside 50.
Horn Francis has done some nice things so far in this first quarter. Took an intercept mark a little bit earlier, composed it on the half-back line, and then followed up for that second play.
So Todd Marshall has got the tape around his forehead already. I think that's it coming out of last week's game, where he got split open late in the match. He's on approach. Will have to kick from about 52 out, directly in front. In fact, kicks from 49. It's a beautiful drop punt, and Port Adelaide get there first.
Well, I've got a goal.
Todd Marshall on the board. Port Adelaide on the board. They move to 1-2-8. Trailing Brisbane 3-3-21, all thanks to Tyre Power, your trusted tyre experts.
So far, so good for the Lions.
All that unfolded was just the decision from Durden. He had the ball on the wing just in front of the benches, and rather than going long down the line, which a lot of teams try and do against the Brisbane Lions, which kicks it to the favour of Harris Andrews, he thought he'd come inside. It was a nice, strong, penetrating kick into the middle of the ground where Vicentini took the mark and handballed it quickly to Horne-Francis. That's the kind of mindset that Port Adelaide need. Take the game on through the corridor, try and get around the stable defence where Harris Andrews is set up.
He kicks the goal and then has the reward of sitting on the bench in the bright sunshine.
If you kick the first goal for the team, you're staying out there just trying to get a little bit of momentum going.
It's the stupidest thing that happens in football. Especially for Todd Marshall, who's sort of down on confidence. Kicks a good goal from 50 and then he goes off. Draper takes it out of the ruck for the Lions, swings it over his shoulder towards half forward. Jones came off the square and kept it in front of him, and that then created a stoppage inside the centre square. 7 to play in this opening term. The Lions with the bright start, leading by 13 points. Bailey, another disposal, was partially smothered. Jones crashes in again for Port and enabled Moraes to get the handball to Darcy Byrne-Jones, who kicked it up towards Bammer, who had a fumble, and it went out of play.
Lions are just getting on top around the stoppages. 8 clearances to 4. Draper's leading the way on the ground with 3.
All the stats for AIA do it for life. Here at the Gabba, bright sunshine. The Lions leading 3 goals to 1 as it's thrown in. One down by Vicentini to Burgoyne. Gouges a kick clear from the congestion towards the wing. There's a whistle. Free kick to Port and advantage is paid. So the kick inside 50 into an open forward line here. Can Georgiades get there? He is able to at least paddle it away from the congestion, but straight to Berry of the Lions, who teams up with a handball to Andrews, to Lester, and the Lions clear.
High ball towards the outer wing. Cameron over the top of McCluggage. Spilt to Byrne-Jones. His hand pass ricocheted off the quad of Lohman. Back into congestion. Lohman keeps propelling it forward. Now Cameron. They are working it clear. Bailey ran into a bit of strife and coughed the ball up. Jones out wide to Watkins. And he sends it down the boundary line to Durden. Attacking side of the outer wing for Port Adelaide. Back to Byrne-Jones. He goes now with a big hoof towards Bergman in the middle of the ground. Trying to create options. Alir floating forward now takes the mark. 55 from home. It's a congested 50 in front of him, so continues to work his way around the arc. Reyes now has it. And he stabs a short pass to Georgiades. They did well to navigate that situation, Luke Hodge.
But once again, it was just a play. It was a play from Byrne-Jones. He had Harris Andrews sitting 60 metres down the line. He decided to switch, and it was a long switch. It was a risky switch, 50-odd metres, but it opened up the play, a couple short kicks, and they found a little gap inside forward 50. Smart play from Port Adelaide, but you can see it's a clear tactic what they're trying to do to avoid just kicking it to Harris.
37 goals for the season for Mitch Georgiades, returning from concussion last week. On approach. 45-degree angle, left half forward, right on 50, and he's put it through. So after Brisbane kicked the first 3 goals of the game, Port Adelaide have responded with the next 2. They moved to 2-2-14, trailing Brisbane 3-3-21 for Tyre Power, your trusted tyre experts.
What's the name of the guy who got injured?
Good news for Port Adelaide in the boundary update for Rapid Mesh Temp Fence. Don't rent, buy it at Bunnings. Logan Evans came on, but I've just seen on my device he's actually gone back off, so it's not good news for Port Adelaide.
I'll keep an eye on how he's going, but what is good news for Whitey is Georgiades, after he kicked the goal, a runner came over to him, but he went down to the goal square. He refused to go off after he kicked that, so he's listened to you. But this is, as I said before, this is the play that Port Adelaide want to do. They've got a clear tactic, not to just kick a long ball inside their forward 50. It's about trying to pierce their way through, whether you go around Harris or short little 45s to open up gaps.
In the middle we go again. Fort against Sweet. Sweet winning it down decisively towards Bergman. Picked it off the turf, handball back into the mess. There's lots of players inside the centre square. It comes back to Bergman, tried to roll a footy towards half forward. Fletcher cleans up though for the Lions. Now it comes out to Zorko, getting the handball from Fort. Oh, great kick into the middle. That was brilliant. Now the next one, deep inside 50. Draper's down there. Probably spoilt Morris in the end. Draper goes and picks up the ball, gets tackled by Jones. Byrne-Jones for the power. Gets it out very wide. This will work though. Moraes getting the handball. Next in the chain. Now it's Lai. Now it's Horne-Francis from defensive wing. Kicking forward to half forward. One-on-one situation. Vicentini couldn't quite take the mark. Andrews came late. Knocked it out of his grasp and over for a boundary throw-in.
I know Kai Lohman. I know Kai Lohman's been in great form, but if I was him, I wouldn't be bypassing the skipper in Josh Dunkley. He was by himself about 60 metres out and just went straight over his head.
That'll be a boundary throw in left half forward for Port Adelaide, who have just edged back with momentum in the last 5 or so minutes. Lai trying to reach Zato. Wasn't clean. Sweets coughed the handball up to McCluggage. Shuffles the kick, but it's wide and it's dribbling over the boundary line. It'll be a lasso the way of Port Adelaide and Lockie Jones. A mistimed kick from Hugh McCluggage. As Jones now goes inboard to Lai. True centre wing. Port Adelaide trailing by 7 points, but they're back inside attacking 50. Geez, the early fly from Georgiades. It was very deep in the contest. Zato emerges with it, tries to get the handball to Watkins. He keeps the ball alive. Horn Francis stabs the pass inside 50, and the mark is taken by Whitlock. So after some early fumblings, Hodgie, they've actually now structured up going inside 50 a lot better in the second part of this opening term, Port Adelaide.
Yeah, it's that last kick. That's the hardest kick in football, is going inside forward 50, especially when Brisbane Lions had 3/4 of their team back there. But it was just the composure from Horn France to be able to hit a target.
1-3 last week for Whitlock. He's got 19 for the season. And if he puts this through, all the key forwards for Port Adelaide have fired early. I shouldn't have said anything. That's well out to the right. Doesn't even score. Fort nullifies it. Pushes it now through for a minor score. 2-3-15 plays 3-3-21. And I'm just going to take a back seat.
That's a fair jinx, that. He almost missed his foot.
It's one of the worst set shot kicks we've seen this year. Wilmot runs into the field of play. He goes short to Zorko. And immediately they're out to half-back with that piercing ball to Rayner for the Lions. The Lions 6 points in front, 2.5 to play with 4/4 time. And Rayner's turned it over here straight to Wines, just to the side of the cricket pitches. So they'll go inside 50 again, Port. It's a long kick to full forward. Georgiades couldn't get to the contest. And a mark completed by Wilmot. I thought it might have been even a blocking free kick for Georgiades. The umpire paid the mark, and instead the Lions quickly release out to the outer side of the ground. Well, with Leicester here at Hipwood at half-back. He'll kick down towards the wing. Berry marks. Gets on with it quickly. Short one on the bounce to Bailey. Handballs to Levi Ashcroft. Well tackled by Burn-Jones. Ball loose 40 metres out from Brisbane's goal. Morris applies a tackle on Bergman and will have a ball up.
Just inside 50 for the Lions. Just over 90 seconds remaining in the opening term. Horn Francis couldn't work clear of McCluggage. Levi Ashcroft, handball over his shoulder. Found a teammate who's gone inside 50, top of the square. Alir dumps the kick, hoping and finding Bammett did well in the contest against Tunstall. So Port Adelaide have stood up to the pressure in the back part of this opening term to bring it back to just a one-goal margin. Zerk Thatcher in the back pocket goes across the defensive goal face, finds Lai. In the broadcast back pocket, he takes a bounce, running out of defensive 50, sends it to the broadcast wing. Whitlock engages with Andrews, spills to Zato. Handball is going to be gobbled up by Andrews. He shuffles it forward to Fletcher. Linking up Tunstall. They find some open territory now with Ashcroft.
Inboard handball. Now Dunkley, a high kick into a pretty open forward line. In front, Hipwood got hands to it, couldn't quite hold on. Lurking at the front is McCluggage. Got a handball away as he was tackled. Now the kick from Berry towards full forward. Juggling attempt. Morris didn't mark, but kicked the goal. No, he didn't. It was touched. It went through, but it was touched on the way through, and the goal umpire saw it straight away from just outside the goal square. The field umpire is still going to go in and say, look, you sure, mate? You're happy with it? And then, of course, we go upstairs, even though the goal umpire was clear that it was touched.
Yep, no sure thing. And all the Brisbane Lion players are setting up a zone.
Yep.
Alir's been in really good position. It was Alir who just got his left mitt in the road, but he's been really good. Intercepted a few there, just getting a hand or a spoil into the Brisbane Lions forwards.
The Harvey Norman replay confirming that it is a behind, and it's Jeff Joshua in the third umpire chair, the former Victorian first-class umpire, working as a TV umpire in AFL football. It's an interesting daily double, isn't it?
It's very interesting.
I think it is anyway.
Jones comes out of defensive 50. Sweet over the top. Knox actually lost ground there for Port Adelaide. It dribbles over the boundary line and out of play. I wanted to say well done to that goal umpire for actually being
exactly right.
Given that we've
so we're not kicking straight
been
today
under
by the
pressure
look of
for
it.
the better part of the year.
Good call.
So it'll be a boundary throwing left half forward for Brisbane, who lead by 7 points as we're about to hit quarter time. Dunkley gets the handball out to Will Ashcroft. With 3 seconds remaining, pokes it into the pocket. Hipwood, a couple of bites, boundary line, and Siren beat him. So Brisbane enter quarter time, 3-4-22, leading Port Adelaide 2-3-15 on the Tyre Power. Your trusted tyre experts scoreboard. 1 goal to Will Ashcroft, Kyle Oman and Zach Bailey, while for Port Adelaide, Georgiades and Marshall are their goal kickers. AFL Nation for DD, say yes, IDD, and for Victoria Police
might
careers.
see them break away a bit in the
Matthew
second
Cox
quarter,
alongside Adam White and
Port
Luke Hodge
do an okay.
The Lions leading by 7 points.
That quarter on AFL Nation was for Tyre Power. Winter safety sale now on, with 25% off selected Toyo tyres. Tyrepower.com.au.
So, have you had anything to drink?
Yeah, but only a couple. And I ate a big meal.
Okay, breathe into the device, please. 1 long continuous breath.
I also drank plenty of water. And I'm a pretty big guy as well.
Okay, you've blown over 0.05, so I'm going to need you to step out of the car.
I'm not going to lose my license, am I? I didn't drink that much.
Stop kidding yourself. If you drink, don't drive. A message from the TAC.
Pie, 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 pie,
It's not the footy without a 4 and 20.
That's the sound of a cricket bat being shaped. Concrete mixing. Socks being stitched. Made right here in Australia. And when you look for products certified with the green and gold kangaroo, you can be confident you're buying an Australian-made product. You're backing local businesses, jobs, and our economy. Look for Australian-made and buy Australian.
G'day, Gazy here. As an athlete, I learned early, you can't perform if you don't recover. These days, I'm not running the courts like I used to, but my back still reminds me of every season I played. That's why I sleep on a Tempur mattress. It molds to your body, takes the pressure off your back, and honestly, it's a big game changer for my sleep. And if you really want to lift your recovery, add a Tempur adjustable base. 1 button and you're in the perfect position. Sleep like it matters. Find your nearest stockist at tempur.com.au. The difference is Tempur.
Metricon wants you to live it up. Right now, Metricon is giving you $60,000 to upgrade your new Designer Series home with some of Australia's leading home brands. From kitchens to bathrooms to living spaces. Add the finishes that make it yours. The Metricon Live It Up celebration. On now. Visit metricon.com.au. T's and C's apply. CDBU 52967 NSW 174699C.
Pre-game nerves? Post-game bragging rights? Get to Kingpin wearing your team's colours on game day and get a free upgrade from schooner to pint of Hans Superdry. T's and C's apply. Please drink responsibly. Established at Crown Complex and now open on Collins Street. Escape ordinary at Kingpin.
When you're in line for a large oat latte, turn your daily grind into your time to shine with our $40 million jackpot every 3 minutes. Keno Go. Download now. 18 plus only. T's and C's apply. Gamble responsibly.
The Sounding Board with Craig Hutchison and Damien Barrett. It's sport, it's the media, it's talking about the issues that matter.
Actually, I saw Jeff Kennett attack you on TV one night when I know your story was right. So you've been in this situation yourself.
Yeah.
So you know how people who don't like media...
I just disagree with everything you're saying.
Do you?
Yeah. I think he's always been media affable on different levels. He's never been best friends, but he's always been professional.
Affable's...
1. And 2, he knows what's going on, and he called out the inaccuracy, and you, as the former head of the AFMA, can't handle it.
It's nothing to do with Hutchie.
It's Glassjaw 2 point. It's Glassjaw.
Oh,
Hutchie. If I was prosecuting Glassjaw in a court, I'd be using this audio.
Would you? We've played this shit once already. Oh, seriously.
Over the edge, Dudley.
Are you
got him. You got him.
How sensitive are you getting?
The Sounding Board podcast with Hutchie and Damo. Thanks to Drinkwise. You won't miss a moment if you drink wise.
You're listening to AFL Nation for 4 and 20 Pies, Australia's original fan food.
Spills to Will Ashcroft, dribbling goal. Lohman curling it around from the left forward pocket, puts through Brisbane's second, sends it inside 50. Cameron, 2 bites, and the mark has been paid. Ball to the top of the square. And Bailey takes the mark over the top of Lai. A 45-degree angle at the top of the square. It's straight right, but it's gone through. Quick hands to Horne-Francis, who delivers it on a platter to Marshall inside 50. It's a beautiful drop punt, and Port Adelaide get there first.
Maccas, I'm loving it moments. Never miss a moment of footy with McDelivery.
Matthew Cox hogging all the commentary here at the Gabba with Brisbane in front.
Didn't get the
quarter time. 3-4-22 to Port Adelaide 2-3-15. So the Lions kicked the first 3 goals of the game before Port Adelaide kicked the next 2. And Hodgie, it did look early that, worrying signs for Port, but they settled.
Yeah, they did. I think, as we said, the Lions jump out of the blocks. They did it against Essendon here. Essendon weren't able to recover. Port Adelaide just tried to slow the game down a little bit. They used their tactic of trying to go around Harris Andrews rather than go through him or kick to the contest where he was. And it's just that calm composure about going inside 450 where they had 4 or 5 uncontested marks, which is a great result against this Brisbane Lions defence. But this is always the challenge for a team that's coming up here to the gather. If the Lions go again, are they willing to just handle the barrage and compose themselves like they did in that first quarter?
It's great to have Luke Hodge, part of our AFL Nation call team today for Sheen Panel Service. So Brisbane 7 points in front, bright sunshine here at the Gabba as we start second term with Sweet in the ruck against Port. Sweet
here.
down to Horne-Francis, immediately tackled by
I can
Dunkley.
only watch the radio. I mean, not watch, listen. So, but by the sound of it, they're doing all right.
Sweet
they're not kicking
the
straight,
couldn't do
but
so.
that's
That enabled Bailey to come in for the Lions. Kick to centre half forward is a whistle, a free kick. No one really knows whose it's to. It's definitely not to you, Charlie. He thought it might have been. Morris thought it might have been. It's a free kick to Port, and Lai can clear for the power.
Charlie just gave a little bit of a nudge as Lai was trying to go up for the contest in the back.
Ball out wide to Drew. He feeds it now to Aaliyah. Zigzag their way down the outer
Smash
side.
the like button if you're enjoying the stream or subscribe.
Logan Evans has started back out on the field in this second quarter, so whatever issues hampering him, he's trying to give it a red-hot go to run it out. McCluggage tried the intercept, spilt to Gallup. Horne-Francis couldn't take possession, spiked forward by Brisbane. Lohman went to ground, invited the pressure from Burn-Jones. Ball coughed up to Horne-Francis, who coughs it up to McCluggage, centre wing on the outer side. Comedy of errors from both teams. Tunstall now takes the mark at half forward for Brisbane. He pokes it into the pocket, but again it was misjudged. Lai able to pick it up. He repels it out a defensive 50. Whitlock in a contest with Gallup. Whitlock did well to extract. Drew feeds it out. Port Adelaide are clear.
Horne-Francis with a bit of space. He goes again with that sort of outside of the foot kick, which turns it over in the corridor. Zorko for the Lions to McCluggage. Handballs it on. Now the long kick to full forward. Hepwood juggling it over the line for a rush behind. That was an absolute gift, and he dropped it.
This has been the worst minute 40 footballing skills that I've seen. It's been who can turn over the ball. That was 6 kicks in a row that missed their target, and then Hit would drop one on the goal line.
Yeah, no, it's not a great start. Brisbane by 8 points on the Robot Building Supply scoreboard. 2 played in the second term.
Blow the siren, start the second quarter again as Evans' kick goes down the throat of Gallup. Brisbane hold territory, and this time link up cleanly with Morris inside 50.
And Aaliyah's fuming then. It was a long kick out from the point. Ty Gallup took an easy pack mark, and then Aaliyah just couldn't get to Logan Morris in time, and he gets his first shot on goal. Every time Logan Morris has been near the ball, O'Leary's interfered some way. This is the first clean position for him.
All that on the replay screen for Harvey Norman. Now at Harvey Norman, upgrade and save on selected TVs, fridges, washers and more. Logan Morris. On approach. Slightly better than a 45-degree angle at right half forward, and this one hits the post.
It's a miss.
When we thought we were cleaning things up, 3-6-24 plays 2-3-15 on the Robot Building Supply
told you.
scoreboard. Robot's got it.
They're going to kick
The
not
Lions
so
have hit
great
the post
today.
3 times. Jones for Port brings it into play. He's kicked it over the head of everybody, and
This is comical.
Free kick to Brisbane. This is...
Have some composure, boys. And Hipwood's got it. Hipwood's got 2 or 3 lines blokes short. And he just goes to a pack 30 out.
It's all a bit contagious at the moment. Hipwood towards full forward. Up they go. No one can mark. Horn Francis tries to clear. Just a rushing ball. Bouncing towards half-back. Bamet's there. Gets tackled well by Fletcher. Neil came in, went without it. Levi Ashcroft somehow got out towards Zorko. Hipwood as well there. He gets tackled strongly by Durden, holding the ball. Free kick Port.
Yeah, Sidley by Eric. He had Levi Ashcroft all by himself, just as a feedback, tried to burst through 2 Port Adelaide players. Was never going to work.
At half-back, chipping ball into the corridor at centre half-back is good from Durden to Aaliyah. Pokes it into the centre square. Bergman didn't have to stop running and then drives a ball into an open forward line. It goes a long way and Whitlock marks on his chest. That ball went 60 metres to about 20 out from goal, and Whitlock judged it well in flight, hugging the ball to his chest.
Was that man again, Durden? Tackled Hipwood on the back flank, and where did he go? He wasn't just happy to go long down the line. Took it on through the middle. Bit of a risky kick. It paid off. And as you said, they found space out in their forward 50.
Jack Whitlock takes a deep breath, closes his eyes, tries to forget about that last set shot kick. In he comes, straight in front, 30 metres out. Oh, no, he's hooked it. It's a miss. Out to the left, and you look at his season, he's kicked more behinds than goals, so it's something he's going to have to work on in the off-season because he does look a likely type, but it's a behind.
Oh, Zorko's run down by Zaddo. Durden gets it up to Georgiades, back to
I live in
Zaddo,
Canberra.
snapping ball going to land top of the goal square.
The land of no AFL,
Gallop the fist.
except for
Nullifies
some
things over the
GWS
boundary line
matches.
and out of play right forward pocket for Port Adelaide.
Once again, great forward
Know
pressure
that
there for
you're
Port Adelaide.
a
Kept
little
that
bit
ball
overseas,
in their forward
but
50,
not
get
too
another
far.
stoppage.
1%ers for -1 refrigerated transport. It's an 8-point lead to Brisbane. Port Adelaide are inside 50. Travelled 5 minutes in the second quarter. Throw in, Fort, it bobbles, and he tried to dive underneath sweep. Got it out to McCluggage, who just goes for territory and hope with his kick. Bounced awkwardly for everyone, but favourably, Hipwood. Bailey. They link up by hand, Levi Ashcroft, back to Bailey. Up against the boundary line at left half back, now goes towards the broadcast wing with the kick. Off hands, Neil. Fumbling, it evades him, he now collects under pressure. Levi Ashcroft had to go off the carpet, and a turnover from Port Adelaide. Back into the mess. Dunkley, Burgoyne, Marshall. Eventually clear through Wines.
Wines deep kick towards full forward. Spoil from Leicester. Scooping it up, Zorko. Handball to Leicester. There's a free kick advantage paid to the Lions. Or is it? It might be a throw. It's coming all the way back. And I think it's a Port free kick, Hodgie. It is.
Yeah, it is definitely Port Adelaide. I reckon Zorko reacted. Zorko got the handball up and then got flung to the ground. And I'm just waiting for a replay because it's coming back.
I've got a feeling it was for Zorko throwing the ball rather than handballing the ball. We'll have a look at the Harvey Norman replay here. That's exactly what it was called for. Whether it was is debatable. But Sweet has the free kick directly in front.
Kicking off.
30 metres out, and he's missed as well. We need to just get in our cars, drive home, then drive back to the game and start again. This is dreadful.
Yeah.
One good thing about it is the pressure
Dreadful
is on.
stuff.
I know that pressure comes with skill errors, but a positive for both teams is both teams are putting a lot of pressure on the person with the ball carrier.
Is July the worst month for footy, given some of the games that we've seen so far this month? Port have got the turnover inside 50. Durden takes the mark.
the players have got no excuse because, as I said, this is a beautiful day. Sun's out. It's an amazing day, but sometimes just with the pressure, a few easy kicks, and then once you miss one kick, pressure comes onto the next person, and that's where the follow-on mistakes happen.
Corey won't miss. He definitely won't miss. He's having a great season. He'll go back and kick the goal.
He's been very good today, just smart with his ball use.
Well, I'm just abstaining from any commentary regarding his set shot here. He's on approach. Will kick from 45, pretty much directly in front. And it goes through. We get a highlight in this second quarter, finally, at the 8-minute mark. And Port Adelaide move within 1 point. 3-5-23, Brisbane 3-6-24, all thanks to Robot Building Supplies, ROBOT. Robot's got it.
Well, you mentioned how he's had such a really good year for Port Adelaide in a team that, as we mentioned, has only won 6 games for the year. That's his 29th goal. And we talk about the small forwards who are putting their hands up for All-Australian berth, and Charlie Cameron's one of those who's kicked 38 for the year. So you sort of sit back and go, for a bloke who's his options have been limited, even when he's had the ball further up the ground, he's been so smart in setting up the play and using the ball by going through the corridor.
He's one of the best recruits of the year.
Yep.
They didn't have to give up much to get him, and he's kicked the goal in every game this year except for one. From the restart, it is a Brisbane ball. Will Ashcroft, chipping ball, inside 50. Lai gets the spoil away from Cameron. He then chases the footy out towards the boundary just to make sure it goes over. And it'll be thrown in right half forward for Brisbane. So, as Hodgie said, 29 goals, 13 now, Corey Durden, for the year, making the move across from Carlton, which is a career at the Carlton sort of punctuated by lots of injuries. But this year he's had a good run at it, and he's done extremely well. Sweet winning the knockdown from the boundary throw-in. Durden this time actually overruns the football, enabled McCluggage to come in. His handball wasn't great. Will Ashcroft overran the football. Burgoyne for the power. Kicks up towards the wing. Vicentini was the target. Gallop got the
that's
tap.
shocking.
And the spoil in away from him. Out of bounds for a boundary throw-in on the outer wing. So it's the Lions by 1 point. We've played 10 minutes in this second term on the Robot Building Supply scoreboard.
Yeah,
the first
3 goals being
game,
off.
Brisbane.
Eventually Brisbane will turn it on at some point.
The first quarter, now over 9.5 in the second. Centre wing out of side. Wines takes possession. He's taken by Dunkley. We get another stoppage.
4-6 goals from turnovers. Interesting game.
Players slowly get back to their feet. AFL Nation is all thanks to DD. Say yes, IDD. And Victoria Police careers apply now. McCluggage, ragdolled, released the hand pass. Bailey, his toe pokes it forward for Brisbane. Taken by O'Brien. And he's taken in turn by McKenna. Stoppage inside 50 for Brisbane. Matthew Cox, Adam White, Luke Hodge with you all thanks to 4 and 20 Pies, Australia's original fan food. Draper now wraps up Evans, and we get another ball up. Given that Evans is back out on the ground, it's a clean bill of health. Our boundary update for Rapid Mesh Temp Fence at Bunnings. Watkins out to Burgoyne. Tried the clearing kick, finding Bammett. He didn't take the mark. Berry assists it over the line, and because it went inside the arc, it'll be a boundary throw-in at right half forward.
Oh, just another example of Port Adelaide just being hard to play against.
Yep, every contest that Brisbane have been around, every time they get their hands on the ball, Port have been putting pressure on them.
Thrown in, one down by Sweet. Evans is tackled very well by Dunkley. Tunstall goes in, he's tackled. Still at the 50 for Brisbane. Kicked out of the congestion, Port Adelaide's way. Zorko tracking the footy, picks up close to the boundary, gets away from Vicentini. High ball back into the 50, punched away. Bailey for the Lions. Watkins for Port. He collects handballs to Burgoyne. Watkins wants it back. Shrugs a tackle, running the boundary. Runs out of play over the boundary. So it will be thrown in again right half forward for Brisbane.
Horn Francis leading away for Port Adelaide, 13 possessions, and Dane Zorko also has 13 after a quieter one last week where only got 15 for the game.
All the stats for AIA, do it for life. Ball thrown in, Sweet winning it down, straight to Will Ashcroft on his left, rushes a footy inside 50, it bounces into the pocket and it will go over. So from about 60, 70 metres out, they're now 30 metres out from goal in the right forward pocket, Brisbane.
It's curious when you look at the Robot Building Supplies scoreboard how inaccuracy has cost both of these teams. Brisbane could have had a better buffer, and Port Adelaide could have had their nose in front if they'd executed better in front of goal. Sweet from the boundary throw-in, clears with the kick towards the outer wing. Hammett overran it. Zorko retreats by hand to Lester, turns inside out to send it back towards right half forward. Reaching up was Draper, couldn't drag it in. Rayner did well to navigate the traffic and then sends it long inside. 50, Loman the fly. Couldn't wheel it in with one hand. Watkins goes with a fend-off, releases some pressure. Zirk, Thatcher, Moraes and Porter out a defensive 50 once again. Marshall takes the mark.
At right half back, handball's on. Porter real chance here. Evans takes a bounce, kicks forward of centre. This works for Durden. It's a really open forward line, and this looks really good. Up to full forward, and Vicentini marks all alone in the goal square. And Port Adelaide here are going to take the lead. Brilliant ball movement, fluid ball movement down the members' side of the Gabba. And Brisbane just couldn't stop it. So Vicentini, the young tall ruckman from Port Adelaide, who kicked 2 goals last week from the top of the goal square, does put Port Adelaide in front. The Power have kicked 4 in a row, and they're out by 5 points. Port 4-5-29, leading Brisbane 3-6-24 at the 15-minute mark of the second term. And it's got to be said, it's game on here at the Gabba.
Yeah.
Well, it's that man, Durden, who we spoke about being an amazing recruit for Port Adelaide. He was a part of that one again with that long kick inside forward 50, but it was also Marshall. Marshall worked in when the ball went into the defensive 50 for the Brisbane Lions. He worked as a big fella to the exit, to the other side of the ground to be that exit kick for him, and that's what linked up their whole play. And then it was just their transition game. We've mentioned how their focus is to get it to the opposite wing and then being able to try and pierce their way through that Brisbane Lions defence, and they worked beautifully in that play then. So good start from Port Adelaide, 2 goals to zip.
Credit to Josh Carr, the coach of the day. Henley Holmes. Henley helps first home buyers. They win this clearance. Port Adelaide drew high inside 50. Georgiades caught behind, so too Marshall. Fletcher got it back to Gallup, who dumps the kick towards the broadcast wing for the Lions. Awkward bounce for O'Brien for Port Adelaide. Dunkley just fumbled at the crucial moment, invited the pressure from Burgoyne. And it'll be a ball up centre wing. Port Adelaide by 5 points, 4-5-29. Brisbane 3-6-24. We've just crossed the halfway point of the second term this afternoon on the Robot Building Supplies scoreboard. Horn Francis to Burgoyne, shuffles the kick towards right half forward.
Play left.
And Leicester's able to wrap things up. It'll be a ball up.
You talk about the 1%ers. Josh Dunkley's had 7 tackles already. He's number 2 in the AFL for tackles.
He's always a big
He is the tackling machine.
Vicentini tapping it down to Drew. Left foot kick for Port. Up towards half forward. Tumbling ball. Andrews met it well with the one hand. Got the handball. But then it was kicked by Dunkley into the body of Port. In fact, below the knee. So it'll be a free kick to Dunkley. It could have easily been out on the full, but the other way. But Dunkley was clever enough to get it into the body of Horn Francis. Looking at the Harvey Norman replay, Dunkley's gone short into Will Ashcroft. Still at halfback for the Lions. Up towards the logo. In front, Rayner floated in from the side. Couldn't quite take the mark. Ball loose at the back. Good tackle from Lohman. Locks it up as O'Brien thought he was going to emerge clear for Port. And it creates a stoppage situation about 60 metres out from the Lions' goal.
Don't forget to smash the like button, folks, and subscribe
Francis,
for more of our live matches of the Brisbane Lions.
The umpire said no, now it's going to be holding the football. Horn Francis was waiting the whistle, thinking it was going to be taken high. Now Ashcroft has played on, and from 50, seizes the opportunity, but can't deliver with 6 points. It's away to the left and only a minor score. Brisbane 3-7, Port 4-5. Not for the first time we've seen the players try and umpire the game.
A turnover inside 50. Rayner clearing the pack. Kills it through. Brisbane's first for this second term. Capitalising on a Port Adelaide error. And they regain the lead. Brisbane by 2 points on the Robot Building Supplies scoreboard. Robots got it. A costly mistake, Luke Hodge.
Yeah, it was. It was really good by Darcy Wilmot, who saw Burn Jones trying to hit that short little 45 from the kick out. He put the pressure on, turned the ball over, and then came Rayner. Well, we mentioned at the start of the game where he just tried to bullock his way through a number of Port Adelaide players in the middle of the ground, and he did the same here. Made no mistake with that snap over his left shoulder. But I think that's just continued on. Port Adelaide have been really good this quarter, but it's just that skill error, that unforced error in their back half, which you give the Brisbane Lions an opportunity like that. They're too good a team not to take it.
Luke Hodge, our expert today for Sheen Panel Service. So Brisbane back in front by 2 points at the Gabba. 18 played in the second term. Draper winning the tap down to Neil. Handballs to Ashcroft. That's Will Ashcroft, has a fumble. So Soccer's off the ground. Inside 50. Tunstall takes it on the bounce. Swings it towards full forward. It's away to the right and through for a score. I actually think he was trying to centre it, not actually have the shot, but it has gone through for a behind. Brisbane now 4-8-32. Port Adelaide 4-5-29 on the Robot Building Supplies scoreboard.
The league brings it back into play, sends it towards the outer side. Bammett couldn't take the mark. Watkins there, he takes possession. Just got rid of it in the nick of time to O'Brien. That was an awkward-looking handball to McCluggage, which was a cough-up. Now Levi Ashcroft up against the boundary line. He centres this. Darcy Ford. The pack surrounded him. Ball off hands. Neil goes the ground trying to take possession. Zato is sat on, and Neil's just a little bit sore.
He got one in the ribs.
Gets back to his feet okay. So far, a clean bill of health for Carbone Lawyers. As Rayner gave the Superman handball out to Will Ashcroft. Spotted Morris in the pocket. The kick was just wide of him. Dribbles over the boundary line. Out of play. Right forward pocket for the Brisbane Lions.
We've spoken how it's been a lot of pressure on both teams, but also the poor kicks. Every goal out there today, all 8 have been kicked by turnovers.
Yeah.
So it hasn't been stoppage goals or kick-in goals. It's been a mistake made, but either through pressure or just a poor skill error, which resulted in a goal.
It's become really contagious, hasn't it? From the throw-in, it gets past Draper. Bailey gets a quick kick, gets to full forward. Morris comes out, gets tackled. Handballs to Draper. He's tackled. This is all happening about 15 metres out from Port's goal. Morris, a big tackle on Vicentini, and we'll have another ball up. 15 out from Brisbane's goal. In the corridor, really dangerous spot. Vicentini took it out of the ruck. Quick handball to Watkins. Kick was smothered by Lohman. And it ricochets out of play for a throw-in. Only 15 metres around from Brisbane's goal in their right forward pocket. Lions with the last goal. They're 3 points in front. They did kick the first 3, Brisbane. Before Port kicked 4 goals in a row. Draper winning it down to Will Ashcroft. Coming through Bailey, through the traffic, spinning, turning, kicking, having it smothered. Line for Port. Got the handball out to Horn Francis. Now to Aaliyah. Clears and kicks as far as he can. Out towards half-back. Berry there against Berry. It was a Berry crush. In they both went. And then McCluggage was the third man to the contest to tackle Joe Berry to the ground, and we'll have a stoppage.
Sounds like a juice order, the Berry crush. Ball up, left half forward. Fort put it down the throat of Horn Francis. He clears it towards the broadcast wing. Marshall, heavy collision with Leicester. Ball spills to Levi Ashcroft. Answorth retreats ground to Andrews. He works it sideways back to the broadcast wing where he finds Fletcher. With just over 6.5 remaining in the first half. Momentum is seesawed throughout the opening 2 quarters this afternoon. Andrews, Levi Ashcroft, they've switched it now to the outer side of the ground. Leicester, the free man in front of the Crowds Electrical and Solar bench. Pokes it further down the line. Tunstall will give the handball back to Leicester. No, it was just out of his grasp.
You're probably too young to remember this, but you used to be able to have this name a game where you could actually buy a video of a game. This one wouldn't be on the on the catalogue, I don't think.
Save the VHS tape.
Yep.
It is 4-8-32 Brisbane leading Port Adelaide 4-5-29.
Fort wins it to the front to Levi Ashcroft, went to Ainsworth, but he got worried out of it by Burgoyne, who emerges with the footy. Handball put his teammate Georgiades under all sorts of pressure. He's coughed it up, spits out to Neil. His handball missed Levi Ashcroft, and it's gone out of bounds. And
Ty Gallett was a big tackle.
It was. Georgiades still on the ground, Hodgie.
And now the umpires are paying a free kick to Georgiades.
Oh, that happened. Well, there you go. That whistle was very, very late. The play had got on for some 10 seconds. Georgiades, he's kicking to full forward, but Fort resting in the hole, takes the mark for the Lions. Spreads it wide to Lester, who marks, plays on. Kicking to half-back, that's better. Berry marks, handballs onto the run of Fletcher. Chipping ball towards the wing. And Rayner takes the mark. He'll feed a handball to Berry, who kept running all the way from defence. Kicking inside 50. Aaliyah coming back, taking a good mark. Oh, it's paid. It's a free kick to Morris. Not against Aaliyah, but against O'Brien, who held Morris out of the contest to enable Aaliyah to come in and mark.
All right.
Happy with that one, Hodgie? Or you need to see a replay?
I was still trying to get the Gallop tackle on Georgiades over the other side, because the play unfolded and then the umpire, who was out of position, brought it back and no one knew what the hell was going on.
It's happened a bit like that for all of the afternoon as Morris swings a kick towards goal. It's come back!
Oh, he's got a goal.
Rather than go for the drop punt from 45 metres, he opened the angle and it went so high and eventually came back and just missed the right-hand goalpost and got through for a goal. Morris's first, Brisbane out by 9 points. And it's 2 in a row to Brisbane, but we're still trying to work out. We're just seeing the replay now for Harvey Norman as to how it was that Georgiades got that free kick. It's kind of irrelevant because Brisbane ultimately kicked the goal.
It's been a high-pressure game.
A little bit unusual, Hodgie.
Actually, no, I just saw the replay then. So the tackle was actually okay, but as Gallop got up, it's the old, he's picked him up and then shoved him into the ground, and his head went into the ground. So the umpire saw the follow-up shoving into the ground, which I'm all for. That was no problems at all. So the umpire saw it late because it happened probably about 3 or 4 seconds after he tackled him to the ground.
And that's why there was the delay in the whistle.
That's why there was the delay in playback. So that was understandable, that free kick. That's no problems at all.
All that on the Harvey Norman replay screen. Brisbane win this clearance through. Lockie Neal goes to right half forward. Cameron trying to use the body and then had to lay tackle on O'Brien to force the stoppage at right half forward for Brisbane.
And I think that's why the AFL brought that rule in. If you pin someone holding the ball and they're laying on the ground, you can't just go and shove them into the ground or push their head in. I actually like they made that change.
Luke Hodge with his machine panel service. Drew collects as Port Adelaide try and repel off half back towards the outer wing. Kick over the head of Georgiades. Whitlock. Leicester gets there first. Fires the hand pass back to Ainsworth down the boundary line. This will be nullified with a big fist from Evans. He was the only player really that's had any injury concerns. Was off the ground for a large portion of the opening term, but played pretty much all of this second term. The boundary update for Rapid Mesh Tim Fence. Don't rent, buy it at Bunnings. 5:8:38 plays, 4:5:29. Brisbane lead by 9, 4 to play, second term. Ball bounces out the back of the boundary, throw in. Neal, Zorko, Rayner, Tunstall, all combining by hand. Will Ashcroft now pulls the trigger inside 50 for Brisbane. Morris. No, outbeaten in the air by Aaliyah, who got the handball quickly to Wines, and now Bergman.
And Bergman running the boundary and then chipping down the line, and it goes out of bounds. So it'll be a free kick to Brisbane. Lasso free kick to Leicester.
That's, 45 goals from Morrison.
Zorko. And into the middle they go.
I don't think he'll win the
play from the outer side to the members' side. All lateral, short metre, 20.
The top goal
20
kicker.
metre balls. And then Gallop kicking longer towards the 50. Lockie Jones dropped the mark. Berry on his knees, got a handball out towards McCluggage. Burne-Jones intercepts. Moraes handballs to Wines, had a fumble. Still had some time to feed out a wide handball to Jones. They're getting towards the boundary here. Joe Berry got a handball back to Burne-Jones. Brisbane really putting a lot of pressure on here, forcing the handball. Now it's Jones that eventually kicks it up towards the wing. Crashing in there for Brisbane was Wilmot. Dropped the mark. Vicentini soccers off the ground into the corridor. This will work for Port. They've got loose players inside 50 here. High kick to full forward. Oh, Georgiades dropped the mark. Leicester came late. Scooping it up. Charlie Cameron helping out in defence. Gets it back. Then chips it out wide, but there's a whistle. It's a down the ground free kick after Cameron kicked the footy. So Brisbane had the ball anyway. But now it's just in the hands of Fletcher.
At left half back. He retreats into the harder defensive 50. Gallop switches to the outer side of the ground for the Brisbane Lions. Leicester, slight little fumble as he was taking the mark. Calls for someone to come at him as he progresses it down to Draper. Still at right half back. Brisbane by 9. Little poke short to Wilmot. Did a little groovy dance to get away from Wines, but then put Neal under pressure from Moraes will get a ball up inside the Swinner. Just back to Vicentini, the battle on the wing, Odgie. 2-on-1, and did well at ground level, actually, to get that ball inside 50 for Port Adelaide on that last attempt.
Yeah, I think that's all you want from your big key centre forward or a big fella on the wing. He's outnumbered, brought it to ground, but then the agility from the big fella shocked everyone, I think.
So ball up inside the centre square. Sweet knocking it actually Brisbane's way. McCluggage on his knees. Handballs the ball to Bailey. Oh, quick release handball to McKenna on the fly. Kicking towards goal. It bounces away to the left and misses everything out of bounds. Gee, that was such a quick handball. McKenna going at 1,000,000 miles an hour. Zach Bailey, that was so good. That was like a quick release sort of NRL pass to the runner. For the line break. Thrown in, Sweet wins it to the front. Drew got knocked over. Wines somehow got a handball free, but straight to Berry. Took it on the bounce. McCluggage deep in the left forward pocket. Decides to centre in the Morris direction. It gets knocked away from him. Back out of bounds for a throw in, this time in the right forward pocket.
You feel for Logan Morris. Alira has been outstanding on him, but every time he's got Alira in a good position, a teammate comes flying over the top to help him.
Yeah. 90 seconds to go until half-time. Sweet down to Lockie Jones. He's ragdolled to the ground. And again, we'll have another stoppage. Brisbane by 9 points, closing in on half-time. AFL Nation for DD. Yes, so DD and Victoria Police careers apply now.
Ford won his own tap work, but couldn't get any purchase on his kick. Cameron's now wrapped up by Moraes. We'll get another ball up inside 50 for Brisbane. And let the lead go halfway through this quarter. Port Adelaide briefly got out to a 5-point lead.
Yeah, very close to half-time. That means they can have a cup of tea.
Georgiades.
For half-time, that's my treat.
Retake of the ascendancy over the last 2 goals of the game. As we've got a minute remaining in this second term. High ball, Vicentini crashes the pack and ball will dribble over the boundary line and out of play. Any numbers sticking out for you on the AIA stat sheet, Hodgie? Do it for live.
Yeah, Will Ashcroft, the 17, leading all players on the field at the moment. 411 metres gained. Been able to do it inside and out, 4 clearances as well.
Luke Hodge with us for Sheen panel service. Fort and Sweet engage. Wines trying to shuffle the handball defensively. Worked out to Drew, found Evans. He is able to see off McCluggage and send it back down the boundary line. Off hands in the contest. It'll dribble out of play in front of the Crowes Electrical and Solar bench.
Okay, 40 seconds to go now before half-time. Low-scoring affair. I was expecting at least 100 points from Brisbane. They've only got 5 goals, 8 on the board from the throw-in. Just go Port's way momentarily.
Yeah. I mean, it could still happen.
Almost to make sure that it goes over.
We can still
He wants the free kick.
6-7 goals in the next quarter.
And now we're going to have a conference between the umpires.
But
Barry still thinks it's his.
But credit to Port, they've been pretty good.
We've got 3 umpires having a chat. Is it going to be thrown in or is it going to be a free kick to Barry? It's going to be thrown in. It actually went, it did actually, looking at the replay, actually did go off the foot of Moraes, who knew it. He put his head back, and now we've got some involvement from upstairs. And it is now, after all that wasted time, a free kick to Berry. From half-back, he kicks towards the wing. Drew can't mark either could Dunkley, and it's back out of bounds. All our score reviews are now boundary reviews for Marta Safety Knives. Cut smarter, work safer. Visit martaaustralia.com.au. 25 seconds to go. Both benches have got the big 30 placard up, so they know how long's left. Berry to Dunkley, to Neal. He's had no space all day. Another handball from Neal. Now a high kick comes up towards half-forward for Brisbane, and Wines takes the intercept mark and just chips it down the line. That'll work. Now a long kick inside 50. Can they mark before the siren? They can. Whitlock. Juggles just before the siren sounds. About 40 metres out from goal. About 5 metres in from the boundary at left half forward. So it's not going to be an easy shot, Luke Hodge, but a chance to get within a kick.
Well, these are the ones that you need to pull through just to get that momentum going. Whenever you go to a interstate venue, anytime you can quiet the crowd, it's important.
It's not his strong suit, but this is a big kick for young Jack Whitlock. The kick, it's on its way. It's way away to the left.
Oh, good.
Out of bounds on the full into the crowd. Wasn't even close.
You called that early.
It's unfortunately for Jack, it's not a surprise. But it's no less. It's still disappointing because Porter in this.
When
game
is the
at
Lions
halftime,
going
it
next
is
week?
Brisbane 5-8-38 to Port Adelaide 4-5.
I don't know. You've got to ask me these tough questions. Hey?
Brisbane kicked the first 3 goals, and he kind of thought, "Oh, this is going to get ugly early." Since that time, Port have kicked 4 of the next 6
Saturday night, August 1st,
Yeah, you're right.
against the
And
Blues.
both teams have
So I
had
think
missed opportunities. Obviously, the Lions have the 8 points, but you can't fault Port Adelaide, where we said before the game with a percentage of 99, only winning the 6
hard
games,
match is going to be against.
But they are hard to play against, and they continue to prove that today. Very few Brisbane Lions players have picked the ball up and had time
So that's
and
my
space.
half.
Oh, maybe apart from
All right,
Will
I'll be
Ashcroft,
back.
who does that most weeks.
Time to make
But
some
it's been
tea.
It's been a great battle.
It has indeed. I was talking before, guys, about Lachie Neale not getting much space. And I think this is kind of emblematic of Port Adelaide's pressure around the footy. Lachie Neale's had it 12 times, but it's 3 kicks, 9 handballs. And you can see there's many times where he's tried to sort of use his legs, break away from congestion, break away from the traffic. And he just hasn't been able to do it because of Port's pressure around the ball, Hodgie.
Yeah, and that's the thing. That's why it's been. It hasn't been a clean, smooth-moving, as you said, high-scoring game. But as far as just a genuine battle, as far as someone gets up, you saw Camarena 4 or 5 times try and burst through Port Adelaide players because the space isn't there for him. So, I said, as far as highlights in the game, there probably hasn't been a lot of highlights. But as far as a good old-fashioned contest, tick the box there.
So just to going through a few more of those stats, just to sort of emphasise my point for AIA, do it for life. McCluggage 6 kicks but 10 handballs. Now he's usually a kicker. I mentioned Neale 3 and 9, Levi Ashcroft 4 and 8. So it's just Rayner 3 and 6. So it's just been the way that Port Adelaide have been able to put pressure on the ball carrier.
Yeah, and that's the mantra. If you think how Josh Carr, how did he play as a footballer? He wanted to contest every time he went onto the football field, so that his players are following his suit.
Absolutely. All right, we are going to take a break here from the Gabba. We'll come back with our halftime show. And don't forget, Chemist Warehouse Around the Grounds, our second game on AFL Nation this afternoon is at Marvel Stadium. It's a big one. St Kilda and North Melbourne, particularly with the way results have gone across the course of the weekend. It's going to be a big game this afternoon. And Cooper Sharman is a laid out for the Saints, which puts even more pressure on Max King as he returns for St Kilda today. But back with more from the Gabba after this.
That quarter on AFL Nation was for Robot Building Supplies.
R-O-B-O-T, robots got it.
Metricon wants you to live it up. Right now, Metricon is giving you $60,000 to upgrade your new designer series home with some of Australia's leading home brands. From kitchens to bathrooms to living spaces. Add the finishes that make it yours. The Metricon Live It Up celebration. On now. Visit metricon.com.au. T's and C's apply. CDBU 52967 MSW 1746999C.
So, have you had anything to drink?
Yeah, but only a couple. And I ate a big meal.
Okay, breathe into the device, please. 1 long continuous breath.
I also drank plenty of water. And I'm a pretty big guy as well.
Okay, you've blown over 0.05, so I'm going to need you to step out of the car.
I'm not going to lose my license, am I? I didn't drink that much.
Stop kidding yourself. If you drink, don't drive. A message from the TAC.
Pie, 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 pie. Pie, 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 pie. Pie, 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 pie. Pie, 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 pie. 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 Pie, 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 pie. Pie, 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 pie.
It's not the footy without a 4 and 20.
Rush into Chemist Warehouse for this week's amazing offers. Right now, get half price off RRP on the Bioglan range, excluding bulk sizes. Pick up Bioglan Platinum Iron Glycinate Plus 30 tablets for just $12.49. Don't stress, Bioglan Ashwagandha 60 capsules are now only $17.49. Muscle support? You'll be glad to know that Bioglan Active Magnesium Citrate 200 tablets are $19.99. Plus Bioglan Red Krill Oil Double Strength 1000 milligram 60 capsules are $22.49. Half price equals full joy. Chemist Warehouse. Great savings every day.
When you're stuck in a long queue or sitting for a new hairdo, add some thrill to your wait with our $40 million jackpot every 3 minutes. Keno Go. Download now. 18 plus only. T's and C's apply. Gamble responsibly.
Pre-game nerves? Post-game bragging rights? Get to Kingpin wearing your team's colours on game day and get a free upgrade from schooner to pint of Hans Superdry. T's and C's apply. Please drink responsibly. Established at Crown Complex and now open on Collins Street. Escape ordinary at Kingpin.
Upgrade and save now at Harvey Norman. Shop big brand TVs. Upgrade and save $350 on LG 65-inch C6 OLED. Shop hot package deals. Upgrade and save over $450 on Sonos soundbar subwoofer speaker bundle. Shop fridges. Upgrade and save $200 on Hisense 640-litre French door. Shop vacuums. Upgrade and save $50 on Bissell Professional stick vac. Shop more in store and online at Harvey Norman now. Conditions apply.
Go, Harvey, go! That's the sound of a cricket bat being shaped. Concrete mixing. Socks being stitched. Made right here in Australia. And when you look for products certified with the green and gold kangaroo, you can be confident you're buying an Australian-made product. You're backing local businesses, jobs, and our economy. Look for Australian-made and buy Australian.
Nobody calls us with good news. We hear from you when things have gone wrong.
When you're injured or sick because of your job.
When you've been hurt in a road accident.
When a trip to the shop ends in the back of an ambulance.
But it's okay. We know what to do. At Carbone Lawyers, we're experts in getting you compensation.
So remember, when things go wrong,
get Carbone on the phone.
Get Carbone on the phone.
Get Carbone on the phone.
We don't settle for less, neither should you.
Visit carbonelawyers.com.au or call 1-800 369 888.
You're listening to AFL Nation for 4 and 20 pies, Australia's original fan food.
Drives the ball into an open forward line. It goes a long way, and Whitlock marks on his chest.
Port have got the turnover inside 50. Durden takes the mark. Pretty much directly in front. And it goes through. We get a highlight in this second quarter, finally.
To pull forward, and Vicentini marks all alone in the goal square. And Port Adelaide here are going to take the lead.
Rayner clearing the pack. Kills it through. Brisbane's first for this second term. Capitalising on a Port Adelaide error.
And as Morris swings a kick towards goal, it's come back! So rather than go for the drop punt from 45 metres, he opened the angle and it went so high.
Maccas, I'm loving it moments. Never miss a moment of footy with McDelivery.
Brisbane 5-8-38 leading Port Adelaide by 9 points. The Power 4-5-29. Brisbane led by 7 at quarter time. They lead by 9 at halftime as we get into the halftime floor show for Choices Flooring.
The halftime floor show for Choices Flooring. Beautiful floors, smart choices. Win a Dyson daily.
Choices Flooring, floors that do more. Matthew Cox, Adam White and Luke Hodge with you for AFL Nation. Thanks to Dee. Say yes, IDD and Victoria Police. Kick your career goals at Victoria Police. Apply now. We were referencing a few of the numbers, Luke, before the break, but a further stats wrap for AIA. Protect what matters most. AIA, do it for life.
Yeah, well, I think around the stoppage, the Brisbane Lions jumped out of the blocks there with an early start, with Draper having a real impact early, but it's been a pretty even battle in and around the stoppage. The Lions are leading 24 clearances to 19. Contested possessions, they're up just a little bit. It's been pretty ferocious in there as well, 36 tackles to 28. But all in all, as we said prior to the halftime break, it's just been a good old-fashioned battle. It hasn't been smooth football. Do you know the game of football where you see with no pressure, where it can be a transition end-to-end game? That has not been the battle today. That might open up in the third quarter when both teams fatigue a little bit, but it's been a very physical contest so far.
And Port Adelaide did well to wrestle back momentum, given that Brisbane got the fast start. They kicked the first 3 goals of the match before Port Adelaide started to get any sort of traction. But this young side that's still got a sprinkling of experience, they did well to get the game back to an even state.
Yeah, well, I think it's about time and space. If you watch the Brisbane Lions, as we sort of said, when they get time and space, they've got the blokes who can move the ball well with the Baileys, the Will Ashcrofts, the Hugh McCluggage. These kind of guys, time and space, they'll just cut you open. But that's the Josh Carr way. It's every time you're near the ball, you've got to be physical, you've got to compete, otherwise you won't be playing in a Port Adelaide jumper. So it's been interesting. It hasn't been as far as it's going to be. It's going to be tough to find highlights for the first half. As I said, let's hope it opens up in that second half to see a few more goals hit the scoreboard.
I'll put the unmissable moment down to the bottom of our agenda in this awards category.
I've still got one. I've found one.
All right, we'll go with it now. The unmissable moment for Drink Wise. You won't miss a moment if you drink wise.
It's got to be the Will Ashcroft goal. I've seen him do it a number of times over the last probably 2 months of football, but just getting to the crumb of the Draper drop, and then he had a split second to put it onto his boot from about 25 metres out, and it just tumbled end over end over end. And for a lot of players out there who have missed an easy target, of course it had to be Will that make the tough look so easy.
And I'm going to suggest that he's making it look simple for Revo Fitness Training made simple.
Yeah, we may as well double him up, just like his Norm Smith medals. We'll give him he's had the 18 touches, going at almost 70%, 4 clearances, 3 tackles. He's had 440 odd metres gained, which for a lot of midfielders, that's a whole game. He's done that in the first half. He's had 8 inside 50s himself. So as far as that, we spoke about him a lot early. He had 4 or 5 touches early in the game and kicked that goal, so he's continued on his great work.
The Mackay Tall Timber Ruckman of the day so far for Mackay Timber, quality Tasmanian oak timber.
Well, this was a tough one. If you go basically just as a ruckman and hit-outs, it's sweet. He's had 23 hit-outs to Draper's 10, 5 hit-outs to advantage to Draper's 3. But I'm going to lean towards Draper, more so the fact that he's been able to follow up his work. He's leading the clearances with other few midfielders with 4 clearances. So I think if you get a ruckman who can do the work but also follow up and get his hands on the ball afterwards, I think that's more impact for your team.
The injury update for Carbone Lawyers. When things go wrong, get Carbone on the phone. Logan Evans came from the ground during the first quarter, spent some time on the bench, came back on, then went back off, and then in the second quarter played pretty much all of it. So I think we've got a clean bill of health for the Carbone Lawyers at this stage. Yeah, no, they all look pretty good. He was on the wing just in front of me, and his legs are fine. He was going up and down that wing trying to get back to support his defenders. The 1%er of the game for -1, the degree of difference in transport and warehousing. This is multiple. There's Alir has done a lot, and so has Josh Dunkley. It's probably one for each. Josh Dunkley's been a tackler machine for the Brisbane Lions, getting 7 tackles. But the 1%ers, they're getting their hand in, they're taking off position. Alir has been elite. We mentioned how Logan Morris has had a tough night. Only had the 4 touches for the game, and a lot of that is because of what Alir has been done, but hasn't really been patted on the back too much or gets a stat for it. What's the coaching move at the first half, or maybe one you'd like to see in the second half for Henley Holmes? What others call extras, we call standard. I think we all sit back and go, Port Adelaide, as far as a team list, who's got the better team? Who's got the more skillful team? And you're probably looking towards the Brisbane Lions, but I love the tactic of Josh Carr. Knowing that Harris Andrews is sitting down the line, waiting for a big long kick inside forward 50, so we can either punch it into the 15th row or we take an intercept mark. The fact that Carr has told his players to go around, look through the middle of the ground, try and have a switch, and then pierce your way through by little short 45s. And Durden's done it a number of times, and they've had probably 4 or 5 shots on goal just through that tactic. So I've loved what Josh Carr's done there. And what I'll be looking from Chris Fagan in this second half as a coach's tactic will be, can he squeeze and clog up that corridor? So if they try and go for that longer switch, as they've done a number of times, that the turnover game will be up for the Brisbane Lions, and they might be able to score that way. That's the voice of Luke Hodge with us on AFL Nation this afternoon. The live ladder update for Harley & Sons Roofing for the best roof in town. So Brisbane are going to remain 4th no matter what happens this afternoon, they're just trying to build that percentage and that gap to Adelaide, Melbourne and the Western Bulldogs, who all sit on 48 points. Brisbane on the live ladder, 52 again clear. Port Adelaide had the opportunity today to go in front of the Gold Coast Suns on the ladder, given their superior percentage. If they win today, they'd draw level with the Suns. And while we're on the Suns, Hodgie, given that you're in command of the leadership portfolio here on SEN, how do you view the Petrarca-Lombard incident in yesterday's game?
That happens 30 times a game. It's just the camera spotted it. And I think what it was is because of the uproar that the Gold Coast have been at. They lost their last 8 games of football. As I said, if that had been a hit where you could see Petrarca and it might have been route work, put a block on for one another, and it was Petrarca's to run onto, and young Leo Lombard may have ran into it. So sometimes that happens, and sometimes a senior bloke can be aggressively telling the bloke, maybe you shouldn't have done that. And it's the heat of the game. This is what people have got to remember. This is the heat of the game. There's a lot of pressure on, and you're allowed to give feedback in a firm way. The biggest thing for me is I hope that they went back and spoke to him afterwards, because if he went and spoke to him and said, mate, you shouldn't be doing that, then there's no problems. It's when the follow-up isn't there or they don't see eye to eye afterwards. So as far as a little bit of a spray and a Leo maybe showing his frustrations back at Petrarca by telling him to go away in no uncertain terms, this is a part that I've seen this in football for 25 years. I've been on the end of both. I've been told to go away, and I've also given that feedback to teammates as well. So it's all a part of the game, as long as the follow-up is done the right way.
So a moment rather than evidence of the fractures which some are suggesting in the commentary surrounding that situation.
Well, I think if you look at it, if Gold Coast was sitting on top of the ladder and they'd won 8 in a row, people would be sitting there saying, look at that leadership. Look at the leadership from Petrarca, telling this young fella, hey, you've got to wait your turn. And that's how it'll get spun. They're in a position where everyone's looking for reasons to talk about him. So, look, that happens, and we'll see how they respond over the next couple of weeks, because no doubt every time those two do something or run near each other, we'll be seeing if there's a pat on the back or a bit of a smirk or an angry look.
Yeah, absolutely. Luke Hodge joining us on AFL Nation for TD and Victoria Police Careers. That was the halftime floor show for Choices Flooring.
You're listening to AFL Nation for DD. Say yes to going out after the game with DD. And Victoria Police. Good under pressure? Search Victoria Police Careers.
So, have you had anything to drink?
Yeah, but only a couple. And I ate a big meal.
Okay, breathe into the device, please. 1 long continuous breath.
I also drank plenty of water. And I'm a pretty big guy as well.
Okay, you've blown over 0.05, so I'm going to need you to step out of the car.
I'm not going to lose my license, am I? I didn't drink that much.
Stop kidding yourself. If you drink, don't drive. A message from the TAC.
For 185 years, Elders Real Estate has been embedded in the fabric of our country. So when it's time to buy or sell in your part of Australia, you need a trusted name. Someone who knows Australian real estate.
Yes, in the Philippines,
it
should work
who understands
worldwide
that it's
anywhere.
not just a house. It's your past.
It's probably a bit tough
it's your
for
focus.
international
It's your
fans
future.
to watch.
Someone with a network
bit expensive,
that runs deep right across
but,
Australia.
You know,
there's one name
a
you
lot
can
of the
rely
Aussies
on.
don't think about
Elders
that.
Real Estate.
That's the sound of a cricket bat being
My cat
shaped.
is running around annoying
Concrete
me.
mixing. Socks being
Oh no,
stitched.
no, they've lost 9 games in a
Right
row,
here in
and they are
Australia.
bottom.
And when you look for products
Towards the bottom.
certified with the green and gold kangaroo, you can be confident you're buying an Australian-made product. You're backing local businesses, jobs, and our economy. Look for Australian-made and buy Australian.
Some people don't live for drinks, but they just haven't
I'm gonna
tried
feed my
drinks with
cat.
cold foam or popping pearls. 10 new drinks, now at a McCafe near you. There's a drink for that. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Available at participating restaurants.
Pre-game nerves? Post-game bragging rights? Get to Kingpin wearing your team's colours on game day and get a free upgrade from schooner to pint of Hans Superdry. T's and C's apply. Please drink responsibly. Established at Crown Complex and now open on Collins Street. Escape ordinary at Kingpin.
With Mimosa Homes, get more of what matters most. More value, more comfort, and more ways to make your new home feel complete. With Mimosa Homes, you can upgrade your kitchen, add home security, or choose turnkey options so your home is ready from the day you move in. Visit over 55 display homes across Metro Melbourne and Geelong. And with their 50-year structural warranty, you can build with confidence, knowing they're with you for the long haul. Get more with Mimosa Homes.
Mimosa Homes. OMF's Spend and Save is on now. The more you spend, the more you save. Spend at least $750 on mattresses and save $100 plus 10% off anything else. Or spend at least $5,000 on mattresses and save $2.5 grand plus 20% off anything else. For a limited time only, ends Monday at OMF, the home of mattress, bedroom, bedding and furniture.
Rush into Chemist Warehouse for this week's amazing offers. Right now, get half price off RRP on the Bioglan range, excluding bulk sizes. Pick up Bioglan Platinum Iron Glycinate Plus 30 tablets for just $12.49. Don't stress, Bioglan Ashwagandha 60 capsules are now only $17.49. Muscle support? You'll be glad to know that Bioglan Active Magnesium Citrate 200 tablets are $19.99. Plus Bioglan Red Krill Oil Double Strength 1000 mg 60 capsules are $22.49. Half price equals full joy. Chemist Warehouse. Great savings every day.
Nobody calls us with good news. We hear from you when things have gone wrong.
When you're injured or sick because of your job.
When you've been hurt in a road accident.
When a trip to the shop ends in the back of an ambulance.
But it's okay. We know what to do. At Carbone Lawyers, we're experts in getting you compensation.
So remember, when things go wrong,
get Carbone on the phone.
Get Carbone on the phone.
Get Carbone on the phone.
We don't settle for less, neither should you.
Visit carbonelawyers.com.au or call 1-800 369 888.
You're listening to AFL Nation for 4 and 20 Pies, Australia's original fan food.
As we start the second half here at the Gabba, the Lions winning the ball back at half-back, kicking to the middle, and McCluggage takes the mark for Brisbane. AFL Nation for DD, CSO DD and Victoria Police careers apply now. They go down the middle of the Lions. Gallop inside 50, wanting Cameron, but doing well there was Evans for Port, just zoning back and taking a defensive intercept mark. So Brisbane 5-8-38, Port Adelaide 4-5-29. A little bit sloppy that from Evans, getting to Bergman on the bounce, but he made it okay. Gets it a second time, Bergman from halfway. He also kicks it poorly, and McCluggage takes the mark for Brisbane. It's continuing the way it started.
That's the thing.
Here we go.
You've got Marshall on Hugh McCluggage and you kick it along the ground. Put it up in the air and let him use his height.
Brisbane now go inside 50 with their kick through Hipwood to the pack. Lohman searching for it. Boundary line will beat him in the right forward pocket, so a throw in. Brisbane 5-8-38, Port Adelaide 4-5-29 on the CommBank backing Aussie business. Day in, day out, no doubt scoreboard. Will be tossed in the shadows of the grandstand on what is otherwise a perfect day at the Gabba. Sweet and Draper spills to McCluggage. Tunstall with an opportunity across the face of goal and hits the behind post on the full. And I reckon that sums up the day so far here on AFL Nation.
I reckon it might be flat. I've never seen Jimmy Tunstall's a beautiful kick of the footy. He's almost floated that on and went on the full.
Aaliyah clears for Port out towards half-back. Juggling attempt from Answorth, not paid. And it will be balled up. Yes, the only thing ruining the day at the moment is the football, Odgie.
Well, that's where Chris Fagan would have went in there with the glass half full with the mindset going. At the moment, they're 20 inside 50s, Port Adelaide, to Brisbane Lions 37. So they're getting the opportunities to try and hit the scoreboard. They just need to be a bit calmer and a bit more composed.
Nothing happens from the initial stoppage, so it'll be balled up again. Left half forward for Brisbane. Burgoyne gets tackled immediately as he took possession of the football. Did get a handball to Watkins, who bounces the ball to the wing. That's where it breaks down. Brisbane win it back. Cameron, flat ball into the 50. Oh, good mark for Port Adelaide. Zirk Thatcher backing back, taking it, and Port can reload through the middle.
Straight up the corridor inside 50. Marshall interrupted by Gallop. Is there a free kick that's going Marshall's way? There is. So I'm slightly amused in the commentary box with Luke Hodge head in his hands.
It's tough to watch, not going to lie. But the free kick there was very... Harris Andrews came back with a flight. It was a minor contact, but the umpires paid it forward. Yeah, a push from the front. But anyway, here's one for Marshall to try and hit the scoreboard and start off a bit better way for Port Adelaide.
He's got one goal this afternoon, Marshall, on the runway. From a similar position to where he did kick that goal in the opening term. It's out wide to the right and not coming back. A minor score to get proceedings underway in the second half. Margin now 8 points on the CommBank Backing Aussie Business scoreboard.
Yes, 5-8 to 4-6. Early stages of the third term on the CommBank scoreboard. You'd read that scoreboard and you'd think it's muddy and windy and raining. It's perfect for football, and they've almost turned it over again from the kick in. It's loose. Wilmot picks it up. Hodges.
Hodges my God.
Having all sorts of problems in the box. They have lost at Brisbane in the end. Ben Jones tumbles the ball to full forward, but straight to Leicester, and he spreads it wide to Andrews. Neither team can hold possession of the football, Hodgie.
I can tell everyone listening, the best way to follow this game is by listening on the radio, because watching it, you'll be trying to blindfold.
Bloody hard calling it.
Yeah. There you go. You're watching it the best way.
High ball, almost to half forward. Into the shadows of the stands goes the footy. Hipwood couldn't mark. He did get hands to it. And then Logan Evans is tackled to the ground, holding the ball. Gee, didn't have long to get rid of that. And it's a free kick to Brisbane, to McCluggage. Handballs to Rayner, who was running past on his left, kicking to full forward. Cameron out the back, marks, evades, gets tackled, kicks it while he was in midair, over his head, out of bounds on the full.
He's kicked it from the goal square out on the full.
He thought he was going to break away, and well done initially to Watkins and then to Lai to apply pressure in the goal square. What looked like a certain goal is a free kick to Port for an out on the full.
That is the direct opposite for making it look simple for Revo Fitness. Training made simple. Couldn't make that any harder than he did there, Cameron. As it's all wrapped up on the outer wing from the Port Adelaide free kick. 5:38 Brisbane, Port Adelaide 4:30. Matthew Cox, Adam White and Luke Hodge with you on AFL Nation for DD. Say yes, IDD and Victoria Police careers apply now. Bailey trying to break through the stoppage. He's clamped by Watkins. Ball spills out to Burgoyne. He attempts the clearing kick, but that goes out on the full.
And not just. It went out by 15 rows.
Be easier to play it in the grandstands at the moment. McCluggage to half forward. His kick drops short. Jared Berry opens the door now for Burn Jones. Port Adelaide on the rebound. They shuffle the kick forward. There is not a clean possession at the moment. Durden now delivers one to Georgiades, the best kick of this third quarter.
Mate, Durden is the only person who has had consistent composure when he's had the ball in his hand. Whether he switched to come across into the middle to open up the fat side of the ground, or that one then. He grabbed it half forward with Fletcher chasing him, was able to lace out Georgiades. Thank God for Durden.
Give him the 3 votes now. Georgiades, after a discussion, has decided to take the shot. He's at right half forward, worse than a 45-degree angle. Will kick from about 50 as he just creeps on the mark, and he's pushed it out to the left.
He's missed.
Lets everything down.
It almost hit that out of bounds on the full post.
Hodgie, where's that reset button? Please press it.
I think the coaches have tried that 3 or 4 times. It hasn't quite worked. That's smart from the Lions.
Yeah,
the Lions
this
go
is
for
this is not a
take
good
the kick in, and he nails his first kick and then runs to get it back.
He does get it back with a handball to
Unfortunately,
Dunkley.
not every game's going to be a banger.
Once, twice, has to retreat. In the end, dump a handball out to Dunkley. Now they've got it wide with Gallup. So Gallup forward of the wing with the kick. Up high goes Evans. Couldn't mark for Port. Burgoyne with the crumbs. Gave the handball to Lai. Back towards the wing position members' side. Whitlock couldn't mark. Ball jars into the corridor, which is good for Fort, which is good for Brisbane. To Tunstall. Now Neal from the centre circles. Floating a ball towards half forward. Wanted Berry. He took it eventually. Handballs to Rayner. Busts a tackle. Balances up. Snaps and goals. Rayner second.
There we go.
And it's Cam Rayner that brings this game to life. The Lions now up to 6-8-44, leading Port Adelaide 4-7-31. And it took a bit of class from the number 16 to show everyone how it's done.
Yeah, well, I think the Lions got the senior blokes to really just settle the things down. And it started with Dane Zorko, who, even though he got the handball receive and made the play flow on, it was a composure to lower the vision, hit the kick. And then when the ball, that next contest, it was Lockie Neal. Won the ball in the middle of the ground, got the handball receive, kicked it to Jared Berry, who was able to give it to Cam Rayner, who, as we've mentioned 4 or 5 times today, that he just burst through Port Adelaide opponents and was able to kick a goal, very similar to what he did in the second quarter.
He's running hot for Ream. Who's running hot this winter? Ream, of course. Winds to Bergman as Port Adelaide win the clearance. They're deep inside 50 with the kick. Gallop spikes with the fist over the boundary line and out of play, right back pocket.
It's been a bit of a slow match.
Or left back pocket, rather.
Just been lots of pressure.
Right forward pocket
and,
for Port Adelaide.
Bad kicking, so, you know.
13 points. Game high margin was 19 in the opening term for Brisbane before Port Adelaide responded to get their nose in front halfway through the second quarter by
today.
5. McCluggage retreats by hand to Gallop, who dumps the kick out of defensive 50 towards the outer side of the ground. Bergman stuck a hand out, couldn't bring it in. Under pressure from McKenna. Tunstall, awkward handball for Hipwood. Back to Tunstall. They've kept the ball alive. Neal sidesteps, delivers the kick up to Will Ashcroft, who just juggled, didn't complete the mark. It's pushed forward by McKenna, swallowed by Lai. And Port Adelaide, for the time being, see off the pressure, although Zirk Thatcher made it difficult. Lockie Jones missed the handball. McCluggage,
I think if we get ahead by even 20 or 30 points, that might be all right.
Charlie Cameron puts it through.
Oh, here we go.
His first of the afternoon in his 200th appearance for the Brisbane Lions in today's game. And
the game has woken up. Just as soon as Dale's come in, the Lions have woken up and started kicking goals. So.
Yeah, well, it was just the pressure. It was the pressure that made that happen for the Brisbane Lions. From the kick off the ground from McKenna to Charlie Cameron's first initial tackle to start it all. And then him and Logan Morrison, I think it was a foot race between the two of them, because Logan's had a pretty tough time of it against Aliir, and Charlie was desperate to hit the scoreboard as well. But well, that's another good reward. We had one early in the game.
Yes, I think Dale might be cheering on the Lions next week.
They got rewarded with the mark. That was Charlie Cameron. Chase kept the ball that 450, walked into an easy goal.
They finally get to play the song that the
take a
crowd
guess who we are versing.
Takes it out of the ruck for Port, kicking up towards half forward, a bouncing football. Durden controls it, then got tackled off the ball by Fletcher. Horn Francis from the 50. He unloads to a vacant square. It might have got the whole way. It has. Ooh. All of a sudden, the game is alive. And it's the Stars that have come to play in this third term. This time, Jason Horn Francis. From the 50,
yep, the Blues
back within 13 points. Brisbane 7-8-50. Port Adelaide 5-7-37 on the CommBank backing Aussie business scoreboard. Luke Hodge.
We've been waiting for this. We've been waiting for the class to really stand up after a lot of turnovers. First of all, it was Charlie Cameron, Lockie Neal,
Charlie Cameron,
Cam Rayner, and then for this time,
200 games.
Francis, who's kicked his 24th goal for the year.
For the Lions, I don't know what his career is overall.
Get into the 20s on the goal tally.
Luke Hodge, our Sheen panel service expert this afternoon. Come for the right repair advice. Call 1300 repair. Back in the middle, sweep the tap. Was searching for Drew. He was interrupted by Neal, who got the handball away to Ashcroft. He strips the tackle. Is making it look so easy, Will Ashcroft, towards centre-half forward. 3 Port players collided. McKenna couldn't do much with it. Evans quickly responds for Port Adelaide. Clears defensive 50 through Horn Francis. It goes out wide to Durden, again providing the link-up on the outer wing. From the Krause Electrical and Solar bench, kick goals with Krause Electrical and Solar. Reyes now takes the mark, and he progresses it further down the field for Wines. He pokes it inside 50. It's wide at Georgiades, but he's going to get the free kick for being held. Right up against the boundary line in the right forward pocket. Leicester infringing as we take a look at the Harvey Norman replay screen now at Harvey Norman. Upgrade and save on selected TVs, fridges, washers and more. Now he's kicked 1 goal 2 this afternoon. Mitch Georgiades. He starts his run up against the fence. To bring it back to 7 points. from a tight angle. It has faded just to the left-hand side. Minor score, 5-8-38. Play 7-8-50. Brisbane in front on the CommBank backing Aussie Business scoreboard.
Georgiades has 38 goals, 42 for the season. So that's 80 shots, which is a big number. But he needs more goals than behinds if you're going to be a good key forward.
I think his issue as well is where he's having shots.
Yes. A little buffer of 2
he has
goals,
a lot of shots
not a lot.
Out wide, boundary, 45 to 50 metres out as well.
That's a really good point. Andrews at halfback for the Brisbane. Chipping ball to Levi Ashcroft, close to the boundary at halfback. We're halfway through this third term already. 12 points, Brisbane's lead on the CommBank scoreboard. Backing Aussie Business. Short into Fletcher, now into Levi Ashcroft again. So Brisbane just, at the moment, being patient, methodical. Leicester marking, handballing back to Fletcher. Now the driving ball inside 50. Morris from behind Alir, tried to mark, couldn't. Vicentini cast in the role of a rover. Got a handball away under pressure. Logan Evans, while he's on the turf, got a handball to Lockie Jones, to Horn Francis, bounces off the Bailey tackle, kicks to Watkins, who marks at left half back. So they dodged a ball at the airport, winning the footy back deep inside Brisbane's forward 50. Now it's all about staying out of Brisbane's forward 50. Up towards the wing, Whitlock the target, bash back Brisbane's way in the marking contest by Andrews, back out of bounds for a throw-in. Nearly at half forward right for Brisbane, and lead by 12 points. With Adam White, Matthew Cox and Luke Hodge. AFL Nation for DD,
2 goals to 1 to score.
and for Victoria Police careers apply now.
So low scoring.
Very shortly, St Kilda and North Melbourne will get underway. We'll take you to the second quarter of that game once we're finished here at the Gabba as Bailey receives the handball and he puts it through from 50 at right half forward. Brilliant goal from Zach Bailey, his second this afternoon. And it's an 18-point margin on the CommBank backing Aussie Business scoreboard. Luke Hodge.
Well, we're praying for a little bit of skill to come out from the players. Well, if you look at how efficient they were in the second quarter, kicking 2 goals, the Brisbane Lions from 19 inside 50s, and then in this third quarter they've only gone in the 9 times for 3 goals. So just how efficient, 3 goals straight to be exact.
We've
that
hit
was just a
50
nice,
views.
perfect stoppage goal from Zach Bailey. This is the reason why the Adelaide Crows are chasing.
Bit of a slow match.
Someone who can get a contested ball, can get a clearance, put on the afterburners, but more importantly, have the composure from 45 out to know as soon as it come off that boot that there was no chance of it missing.
Yes, the class has certainly come to the fore in this third term for Brisbane. Goals to Rayner, Cameron and Bailey. As we go back into the middle, there's a shepherding free kick. It will be a free kick to Draper, so it's a ruck infringement against Vicentini. So Sam Draper in the middle of the Gabba. Bright sunshine still here in Brisbane. Draper just drives it as long as he can. Inside 50. Oh, Lohman! Jumped early into the back of Lai and marked it pretty much when he was back on his feet, but it still looks spectacular all the same.
I actually don't know if you can call that a hanger or not, because I'm not sure if he touched his opponent, because he's jumped way too early and you're spot on. It's almost like he's landed on the ground and then decided the ball had come.
The photograph will look really good, but the ball won't be in the frame. So Kyle Oman has already got a goal. Their small forwards are cutting Port Adelaide up in this term. Can he join in the party in the third? No, he can't. Away to the right, missing quite badly, in fact. And normal service is resuming from the first half. Brisbane 8-9, Port Adelaide 5-8. That's on the CommBank backing Aussie Business scoreboard.
That's a mess, unfortunately.
He's had a really good start to this third quarter. 8 touches, 2 clearances.
Well, thanks to AIA, do it for life. Reyes takes the mark at right half back for Port Adelaide. They progress it down the outer wing. Joe Berry takes the mark and quickly pokes it forward for Georgiades, a long way from home. He goes inboard to the true centre wing position for Burn Jones. Wants to switch into the middle of the ground. Horn Francis all alone takes the mark. And then he goes with a long searching kick to left half forward. Watkins takes the mark. They've progressed this well here, Port Adelaide. Lai now has it just beyond 50. 45-degree angle. Wants an option inside 50. Elects to send it to the top of the square. Sweet had 2 to beat. And Zorko wins the battle, takes the intercept mark.
In the defensive goal square, dumps it into the back pocket to Berry. And Jared Berry flares it even wider to Hipwood, who marks close to the boundary. Too tall for Watkins. So again, it's just methodical approach in the back half, and then they get to halfway and they go long, but they've turned it over on this occasion. Oh, Alea dodging, weaving, going for goal and missing as well from 30 metres.
Oh, it's looking...
It just had to be kicked. It was
looking
exciting
better
from
for sure.
Alea. Just not the final result.
He's deserved that as well. He has been outstanding, his defensive pressure on Logan Morris today.
5-9 to 8-9. Brisbane by 18 points. 7 to play in the third term. AFL Nation for DD, yes ODD, and for Victoria Police careers apply now.
As Levi Ashcroft goes back to Answorth in the defensive goal square. Works it to Dunkley. And he just pokes it short to Jared Berry. It was affected as he got the kick away, which makes it difficult for Neil. He can't keep it in play, and he's landed on the AstroTurf. As Neil's claiming he thinks that he got infringed in the marking contest, I think, Lockie Neal.
It's again a situation of the players trying to umpire the game.
The ball was out on the full prior to the contact in the marking contest. Either way, it was given a Port Adelaide free kick to Watkins. He's poked it short to Horn Francis, who now goes inside 50 and Durden on the lead. That's the first error he's made. He spilt the pill. At ground level, Fletcher fighting for it, stripped the tackle, worked it to Answorth, quickly gets it on his boot, sliding in. Horn Francis takes the mark at left half forward.
He's going to kick quickly and well, and Burgoyne coming out, marks on a lead. 45 from goal, just left of centre.
Smart from Horn Francis again. Was just quick enough to get in front of Hipwood to take that intercept mark, but then didn't take his time when he had the ball. He realised the Lions were getting some numbers back in their defensive 50. But saw Burgoyne on the lead. It was a beautiful kick.
They need this, Port. Brisbane threatening to break the game open. Port need to stay in touch. Jace Burgoyne on the approach from just inside the 50. Jumps into it. Kicks it well. Kicks the goal. So they do get back within 12 points.
Fuck.
Port 6-9-45. Brisbane 8-9-57. We've now played 19 minutes in the third term on the CommBank backing Aussie Business Scoreboard. Luke Hodge for Sheen Panel Service.
Don't forget, folks, that you can
you're right,
subscribe and like the stream,
to break this game open.
or you can become a coffee member.
Better players that have been starting to find the
$10
ball,
a month helps out the streams.
Francis, he kicked the goal earlier this quarter, was able to set
all
up
the
that
things
one there
we do
just through
here.
being in front, and a beautiful kick inside to Burgoyne. But this game is opened. Port Adelaide have still been able to get their way inside forward 50. Both have had 10 inside 50s this quarter, but the Lions have been able to own a lot more of the footy, having 22 more possessions than what Port Adelaide have.
A major partner here on AFL Nation is 420 Pies. You can't have footy without a 420 pie. Voice of Luke Hodge alongside Adam White and Matthew Cox with you. Sunday afternoon footy on AFL Nation. Bergman trying to get the handball to Burgoyne. Cut off by Fort. They've progressed it forward here, the Lions. McKenna, Durena, stripped the tackle, works sideways. Handball across to Bailey, who splits the middle for his third.
Oh.
And as quick as that, the Brisbane Lions respond, and it's back out to 18 points on the CommBank backing Aussie Business Scoreboard. Luke Hodge.
This is the things that a lot of teams are going to be worried about going into the back end of the year and into September with the Brisbane Lions, and how fast and easy they can score at times. That one there was not pretty play football. It was a
Zach Bailey's been accurate. 3 goals straight for him.
Cam Rayner once again took on 2 or 3 Port Adelaide players who had to break a couple of tackles, and then found Bailey, who was all by himself running inside forward 50. So this is the danger here for Port Adelaide. If they need to stay just within arm's reach, the Lions are going to continue to do this. They're going to take the game on. They're going to try and take some risk, get that ball moving forward quickly. So defensively, they need to be sound in these next 5 to 10 minutes, making sure they stay in touch.
They've got so many strengths, Hodgie, but is that one of their biggest strengths, those medium-sized forwards that can just electrify them? We'll get back to that. Horn Francis has won the centre clearance. He's kicked out to Georgiades, who's marked on a lead. That's a really strong mark in front of Leicester. But just those, Loman, Rayner, Cameron, Bailey, they can inspire and do things really quickly in a space of 5 minutes.
Yeah, I think that's the X factor. And you got your players who are going to be consistent for the whole patch of the game, which is Hugh McCluggage is having his best game for 3 months. But you know what you're going to get from Dunkley, Neal, these kind of guys.
All right, Mitch Georgiades. Let's focus on him here. Again, it's one of these really important kicks to stay in touch. Burgoyne had it a short time ago. Now it's Georgiades' turn, and he's delivered. That was much better. His second, and again, Port get within 2 goals. They are fighting hard here on the road. Port Adelaide 7-9,
4
51
goals to
Brisbane.
3. The game has definitely
12
opened
points
up
in
now.
front, 9-9, 63 on the CommBank backing Aussie business day in, day out, no doubt scoreboard.
We talked about Port Adelaide and the amount of injuries that they've got to their team and to their main senior players who'd fit straight back into this side today. But what you do look for is when you do have injuries to the Butters and to the Rosies, is there's a void to be filled from some young guys coming through with their leadership, and this has been Horn Francis' day today. I think Josh Kirby looking back saying this bloke's a potential captain of the football club. He's had the 24 touches, he's kicked the goal himself, 4 clearances, but he's been able to set up a number of goals today himself.
Boys, Luke Hodge with us for Sheen Panel Service. Back in the middle, Rayners collected by that man Horn Francis and Bergman. 4 to play in the third term. Lions by 12. Every time they look like they're about to break clear, Port Adelaide respond. Wines dumps the kick from the secondary restart. It's into a mess. Tunstall worked it forward for Brisbane. And then the tumbling kick inside 50, wide of Morris. Zerk Thatcher collects, and then he's collected by Morris. It'll be a ball up in the left forward pocket for the Lions. 9-9-63 plays 7-9-51 in favour of Brisbane. They're inside 50. As Bergman's kick was smothered up against the boundary line. Charlie Cameron hooks it back towards goal. Lohman flies a leer in front. Neither paid the mark. Lohman continues after he took possession and splits the middle for his second.
Oh.
Brisbane now back out to an 18-point lead as this tennis match continues to play out here at the Gabba. 10-9-69 plays, 7-9 at 51 for CommBank backing Aussie business.
Probably hear my mouse clicking.
Well, that was a great test there.
Probably because I
Charlie
don't own a
Cameron
dynamic.
I thought for a second there he was going to have a snap, but late as he was putting the ball to his boot, he saw Kai Lohman all by himself.
Some more stats
the
for
goal
you to
squares. Great
read.
contest there from Alir. A fend off Kai Lohman to Spook Thatcher. And there was
You might see 100
that's
points.
What you're talking about. These are the forwards that can really stand up. We've seen Rayner do it, we've seen Bailey,
So,
and now
game
Lohman's
is
joined the
definitely
party
opened up.
in his third quarter to
You just got to put a clamp on
the Adelaide team.
Because
our
most
defence.
teams might have 1 or 2, but they've got 4, so you can't keep them all quiet. Draper, he's just taken out of the ruck, and he's gone on a rampaging run from the front part of the square all the way home. Sam Draper, that is one of the goals of the year. You are not meant to do that sort of thing when you are that size.
You're not! What? He loves kicking a goal, this guy.
75 to Port Adelaide, 7-9-51.
Holy
so Brisbane
doolies.
get consecutive goals, and it's all because of one man. He got the tap to himself, went on a rampaging run and said, that's how you do it.
Who needs teammates when you got a Sam Draper on your side?
That wasn't the tap to yourself. It wasn't the fact he ran 15 metres and then kicked it from 55. The best part of that whole thing there was the strut towards the crowd, and the new fan base have got a new cult hero, Sammy Draper.
Oh, yeah.
A new game high margin of 24 points and a real snag of the day for Tasman Butchers, the meat specialist. Might even be snag of the year.
Wow.
As Port Adelaide won the clearance, and it's gone down the throat of Mitch Georgiades. So Port Adelaide again looking to respond to the challenge. He's kicked 2-3 this afternoon, Mitch Georgiades. He's directly in front from range. 3 to play in the third term.
That's the thing, we can kick those goals pretty quickly when we need to.
Mitch Georgiades dealing with the pressure. Slide angle at centre half forward, he can't. It's through to the left, a minor score. 23 points the margin for CommBank.
Oh no, he's done the old forward miss and act, walk away with a limp. I've seen that one plenty of times before. Come on, Mitch, turn it up.
Brisbane bring it out through the members' side, but it breaks down at half-back. Ollie Wine's got a handball to Bammett, who's kicked it out of bounds on the full.
And he's still carrying on with it. Stretching the calf as if he's cramping.
Centres.
Haven't seen him leave the 50 too many times to cramp.
It's like a golfer when he hits the ball straight in the water off the tee. Oh, got a back spasm.
Yep, blame the clubs. He's still doing it over there.
I think your body of work across the year, Mitch, suggests that it might not have been.
I think this is a pretty good buffer to have.
The league.
Oh, no, he's up running now. He forgot about it.
Brisbane kick it around in defence.
Just
They're
that
still
20,
deep inside enemy
25
territory. Wilmot to Fletcher. Fletcher just outside the defensive goal square. Now with Andrews, and he chips it down to Will Ashcroft, who started particularly well. He just knocks up getting the footy. They've gone back inside defensive 50 now with Andrews. So these are all little kicks. Just trying to pick apart the Port Adelaide defence. The defensive setup in front of the footy. Wilmot now to Tunstall. Now they're out. Tunstall to the wing. Good kick. Now they can really work it. Chipping in board to Dunkley. Wanted to go quickly to Neil, but that got blocked. O'Brien actually did really well then. He didn't move off the mark, but he was able to prevent the quick release handball. So back into slow play, Brisbane. Leicester. Now there with Bailey. Forward to the wing, Brisbane. Oh, there's a whistle. Now, is that a free kick down the field or what?
No,
everyone has stopped. No, they're going and bring it back. The kick went inside 15. Players stopped and all looking at the umpire saying, what's happened here?
Just the following from the medical report. Georgiadis is fine. Got a drink of water, forgot about the shot on goal, and was able to sprint defensively that last effort.
So not even pickle juice involved?
No pickle juice. It was just something to clear the mind.
Very good news for Rapid Mesh defence at Bunnings. Now they go inside 50, Brisbane, and straight away they turn it over. Port got so many numbers back. And the man that took the mark for Port Adelaide wears number 22. His name's Logan Evans.
He pokes it short to Zerk Thatcher. He also pokes it short to Marshall, who's inside defensive 50. Greatest of kicks made Drew work for it, but he's able to take the mark. Still inside defensive 50. That one's under pressure. Tunstall did well to get a hand involved. McCluggage scoops it up, strips the tackle at centre half forward, then goes wide. And Fletcher working into space takes the mark. He'll go even wider, but a little closer to goal for Will Ashcroft in the right forward pocket. This will be the last passage of play in this third quarter. Just seeing Brisbane almost break clear on a couple of occasions. Just to put the lead out to 29 points, which would be a game high. Right on the stroke of three-quarter time, Will Ashcroft. Wow.
Well, there you go.
Just stabs it through, makes it look so graceful. Will Ashcroft for his second. And Brisbane now move out to a 29-point lead at three-quarter time. 12-9-81 plays.
That was a cherry on the top for that quarter.
Backing Aussie business. We'll be back to the final term on the other side of this with Luke Hodge, Adam White and Matthew Cox on AFL Nation. But DD, say yes, IDD, and Victoria Police
really good.
Apply now.
That quarter on AFL Nation was for CommBank, backing Aussie business.
So yeah, I think Lions have got the control of the match now, and just keep that lead. I'm not too sure how they're doing on the ladder.
Right
Obviously
now,
better than the
Metricon is
Crows.
giving you $60,000 to upgrade
That's
your
what
new Designer Series home with some of Australia's
119%
from kitchens
compared to the Crows.
bathrooms, to living spaces. Add the
113.7
finishes that make it yours. The
for
Metricon
percentages
Live It Up
for
celebration.
the stat racks that are looking at that
Visit
on the ladder.
metricon.com.au.
Hawks are on 124%, but they've got that draw that they had against the Pies.
Pie, 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 pie. Pie, 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 pie,
So that kind of gives them a little bit wedged in the third spot. But we are versing them soon. A couple weeks' time. I think we can take care of them.
Pie, 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 pie. Pie, 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 pie. Pie, 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 pie.
Should be interesting.
And sauce.
It's not the footy without a 4 and 20.
That's the sound of a cricket bat being shaped. Concrete mixing. Socks being stitched. made right here in Australia. And when you look for products certified with the green and gold kangaroo, you can be confident you're buying an Australian-made product. You're backing local businesses, jobs, and our economy. Look for Australian-made and buy
he's doing
Australian.
really well. His form
OMF
has been
Spend and
fantastic
Save
over
is
the last
on
2
now.
months, so
The more you
can't
spend, the more
complain
you
about that.
save. Spend at least $750 on mattresses
And then next
save
week we,
$100 plus 10% off
going down to
anything
Victoria
else.
to
Or spend at least $5
take care of the
on
Blues.
mattresses and save $2.5 grand plus 20%
Yeah, good quarter.
off anything
7
else.
goals to
For
3.
a limited time only. Ends
complain
Monday
about
at
that.
OMF, the home of mattress, bedroom, bedding and furniture.
Nobody calls us with good news. We hear from you when things have gone wrong.
When you're injured or sick because of your job.
When you've been hurt in a road accident.
When a trip to the shop ends in the back of an ambulance.
But it's okay. We know what to do. At Carbone Lawyers, we're experts in getting you compensation.
So remember, when things go wrong,
Get Carbone on the phone.
Get Carbone on the phone.
get Carbone on the phone.
We don't settle for less, neither should you.
Visit carbonelawyers.com.au or call 1800 369 888.
Pre-game nerves? Post-game bragging rights? Get to Kingpin wearing your team's colours on game day and get a free upgrade from schooner to pint of Hans Superdry. T's and C's apply. Please drink responsibly. Established in Crown Complex and now open on Collins Street. Escape ordinary at Kingpin.
When you're in line for a large oat latte, turn your daily grind into your time to shine with our $40 million jackpot every 3 minutes.
Well, I think you mentioned before we might not get
18 plus
100
only.
points.
T's and C's apply. Gamble responsibly.
And I thought, well, if the game breaks open,
Only a couple. And I ate a big meal.
you know, or that
Okay,
pressure
breathe into
football
the device,
goes away,
please.
then you will see some
One long
improvement
continuous
there.
breath.
So I also drank plenty of water. And I'm a pretty big guy as well.
Okay, you've blown over 0.05, so I'm going to need you to step out of the car.
Oh, you're stepping out of the car, folks.
I didn't drink that much.
I don't know why I play the
Stop
ads.
kidding
but
yourself. If you drink, don't drive.
We
A
just let
message
it
from the
run.
TAC.
For 185 years, Elders Real Estate has been embedded in the fabric of
Might
our
be that
country.
they don't do checks
So when
for
it's time to
caffeine.
buy
I
or
don't
sell
drive.
in your part of Australia, you need a trusted name. Someone who knows
My
Australian real estate
blood
like
levels
no
of
other.
caffeine is
Who
always way too
understands
high.
that it's not just a house. It's your past. It's your focus. It's your future. Someone with a network that runs deep right across Australia. There's one name you can rely on. Elders Real Estate.
You're listening to AFL Nation for 4 and 20 pies, Australia's original fan food.
Handballs to Rayner, busts a tackle, balances up, snaps, and goals! Rayner's second, and it's Cam Rayner that brings this game to life. Brisbane straighten up, they're running into the goal square. Charlie Cameron puts it through. Juan Francis from the 50, he unloads to a vacant square. It might have got the whole way, it has! Draper, oh, he's just taken out of the ruck, and he's gone on a rampaging run from the front part of the square all the way home! Sam Draper! That is one of the goals of the year! You are not meant to do that sort of thing when you are that size! I'm speechless!
Maccas, I'm loving it moments. Never miss a moment of footy with McDelivery.
I sort of lost my composure there. I just couldn't believe what I was seeing from Sam Draper. You think of what Justin Madden did all those
there's
years
the
ago at
stat.
Waverley. Well, I mean, this
So,
just shows how much
chances of
Hodgie,
Port
the
winning
ruckman now
are
so much more athletic.
pretty slim at this
I've never
point, I
seen
would
a
say.
ruckman do something like that.
Yeah, it doesn't happen too often, but I tell you what, the Brisbane Lions supporters here want to see it again, especially the carry on. You had Harris Andrews running from full back to make it up there along with the rest of the teammates. But no, it's those kind of things that we're lucky to be able to see. What players are coming in, the 6'6", 7, 8 ruckman, they're so much more athletic than what they used to be.
They are. And Brisbane red time goals at the 24-minute mark, 25-minute mark, and 30-minute mark of that quarter. So it was 12 points to the difference at the 22-minute mark, and now it's 29 as we start the
final
last
quarter.
term. Really flexing their muscle,
Bounces.
Brisbane, in that
gonna
red
happen.
time period of the third term. As we start the
Here we
final
go.
term here at the Gabba, shadows lengthening, but still bright, sunny conditions. AFL Nation for DDSODD and for Victoria Police careers apply now. Secondary stoppage. We're going to have a third one here because Mariah slays a big tackle on McKenna. It's Adam White, Matthew Cox and Luke Hodge. Live from the Gabba. Draper winning it down. Neal's had been quiet today, went through his legs. Dunkley applies a big tackle. It'll be holding the ball against Moraes, who tried to break through. So hard to break through a Josh Dunkley tackle. In fact, it's Zorko. He's hard to break tackles as well. Out wide to Will Ashcroft. Quick handball onto Berry. Back to Will Ashcroft. He's 60 out, close to the boundary. Centering ball. Hipwood in front. Gets to the back. Zerk Thatcher through his hands. Sweet picks up. He's tackled by Hipwood's got to get rid of it. He does. It wasn't very far with a kick. Morris took it and goaled it. They were under all sorts of pressure. They just couldn't get it away from the danger zone.
There you go.
And Logan Morris helps himself to his second goal of the afternoon as well. And Brisbane get a 13th. A perfect start to the final term. The Lions 13-9-87. Port Adelaide 7-10-52. They had their chances there, Hodgie, to get it out of that danger zone, but the pressure was good.
Yeah, it was. And it was Sweet who had the ball. And then it was Hipwood who pinned one arm and he couldn't really get rid of it. Had to throw it onto his boot. And then Hipwood laid him into a big dumping tackle to the ground. And then a little bit of a fisticuff between Sweet and also Hipwood. But yeah, Logan Morris, who has had a tough day today, had a couple of feedback options, but decided to go all by himself, throw it onto the boot.
Now around
for the day.
Sorry, Hodgie. Around the grounds for Chemist Warehouse, the game has just gone underway at Marvel Stadium between St Kilda and North Melbourne, and some late drama for the Saints because Rowan Marshall pulled out of the game literally moments before it started. He had a fitness test out on the field and failed it. So Sharman and Marshall out of the game for St Kilda before it even started.
There you go.
That means does that mean more minutes for Max King?
Well, it'll have to be.
Ball inside 50 for Port Adelaide. Whitlock to Durden. Trying to feed it back to Whitlock. Missed him. Cluggage trying to straighten up. That wasn't the greatest of kicks. Retreating ground to Levi Ashcroft. Feigned the handball. Then goes inboard. Fletcher under pressure. Gets the 1-2. And then up the corridor. Doing well to juggle it was Dunkley. Now spreads it towards left half forward. Lohman unopposed takes the mark. He continues to progress to Rayner. Left half forward all by himself. Now inside 50. Not the greatest delivery from Morris. Zerk Thatcher shut down by Lohman. Ball spills back to the hands of Rayner. Neal arrives for support. Scrubs the kick. It wasn't favourably in the end. Moraes able to get the turnover for Port Adelaide. Awkward handball to Joe Berry. Trying to feed it to Burgoyne, who's claimed by Levi Ashcroft. It'll be a ball up on the broadcast wing.
Moraes definitely got hit hard by Cam Rayner there in a big tackle. Umpire throws the ball up. Draper thought about taking it out of the ruck, dropped it. Port Adelaide clear and kick out of the congestion to the wing, but straight to Brisbane. McCluggage handballs it to Answorth. Now to Will Ashcroft from the middle. Good kick. Straight down the middle and straight onto the chest of Logan Morris. And this resistance that we saw from Port through the middle phase of the game, it's just starting to loosen. They're looking tired and Brisbane are looking hungry.
Yeah, well, that was the old and the young. But first of all, was the Ryan Lester intercept across half-back. Was able to get the quick hands off. And then the kick there from Will Ashcroft. The defender, Zerk Thatcher, had no chance of having any impact on that. It just laced it perfectly onto his chest.
Morris a chance at his third goal directly in front from 45 metres. Kick on its way. It's out to the right. It's coming back. It's floating in.
Oh.
It never, ever spun like a drop punt.
Ooh.
And he's laughing as he watches that one go through over the goal umpire's hat. Totally unintentionally. Port Adelaide, 7-10-52. Now 41 points down on Brisbane. 14-9-93. The Lions have already kicked
3 goals and 2 behinds
to start the
for him.
final term. To go with those 3 just before three-quarter time. So in actual playing time, Hodgie, I've got that as 5 goals in about 8 minutes of play.
Yeah, and this is what we said, that this is what the Lions can do. They can hit the scoreboard quickly back to back to back. If you give them a little bit of an opening, they get their confidence up and running, and especially if you give the time and space. You saw the space that Draper had out of that stoppage. We're able to kick. Will Ashcroft then was coming through the middle of the ground. There was no one within 15, 20 metres of him. If you give Will Ashcroft that much time and space, he's going to hit Logan Morris, who floated that one through anyway.
Play of the day for Plant Mark, wholesale plants and trees for landscapers and tradies. Dunkley's all wrapped up by Burgoyne on the edge of the centre circles from the restart. 41 points in Brisbane's favour. 14-9-93 to 7-10-52. Burgoyne won it down from the tap and then sent it inside 50 momentarily. Fletcher couldn't get rid of it cleanly. Durden now is jumped upon by Gallop and Answorth. We get a stoppage just inside 50 for Port Adelaide. Brisbane searching for their 7th win in a row. Sweet grabs it down. Just had to release it again. Jared Berry cut it off. Sizzled it into the middle of the ground and it beat everyone. Lockie Jones getting back first. Popped the handball to Moraes' favour. Port Adelaide inside 50 again with this kick, and Leicester just dealt with Georgiades easily in the marking contest. An easy intercept mark, and he feeds it to Lohman.
Yes, it was almost dismissively, wasn't it, the way he did that to one of the best forwards in the competition. Lohman now spreads it wide. And Harris Andrews has the footy, left half back. King down to the wing, and Lockie Neal takes the mark. Inboard kick, it's ambitious towards Lohman. He got taken high in the marking contest against Moraes. Advantage paid, chipping ball into the 50, and they're lining up. And it is a Brisbane mark inside 50 to Hugh McCluggage. And another chance at a Brisbane goal here in the early stages of the final term. Luke Hodge for Sheen Panel Service.
That was just too easy. Port Adelaide, they had a chance of cutting off in the middle. There was advantage paid, and then Brisbane Lions had 2 or 3 blokes they could have
close to that.
Going
100 points. That looked
Hugh McCluggage
a bit
up to
unlikely
his 29th disposal.
After half time.
And he can add a goal to that as well.
There you go.
So as Luke Hodge said earlier on, this is the best we've seen Huey play probably all year, really, after that injury-interrupted start. Then a couple of false starts. But this is going to give Brisbane a lot of confidence to see one of their prime midfielders playing the way he's playing today. It's Brisbane 15,999, Port Adelaide 17.52. That is on the Robot Building Supplies scoreboard. Robot's got it. AFL Nation for 4 and 20 pies. You can't have footy without a 4 and 20 pie.
Yeah, this is an important game for the Brisbane Lions, and Hugh McCluggage is finding some touch for him. He's had an interrupted year. He did his calf in opening round, missed 4 weeks with that, then came back and did a hamstring where he missed 5. This has been a season-high touches, 29 disposals. Clearly, he's best for the season. He's only
I think we're going to hit 100 views for our stream too. So there you go.
Getting confidence in him.
Big thanks to everyone who's turned up. And
this winter, Ream,
remember to like and subscribe for more matches.
On the hunt. Goes for home from 50, but it's well offline out on the full. It's just that bit of fatigue in the warm sunshine and the class that is lacking for Port Adelaide, who kept it within reach until the latter part
99 views.
The third quarter.
And the Lions are on 99 points.
The game as Brisbane
there you go.
To exit defensive 50 through Levi Ashcroft, short to Wilmot.
It's kind of funny.
Left half back. Poga to Bailey, defensive side of the broadcast wing. 15,999. Brisbane, Port Adelaide 17.52. They now retreat through Andrews, Fletcher. He looks towards the outer side. Back into the sunshine it goes. Now wide there, Zorko. Piercing ball inboard. Just missed McCluggage in the end. Levi Ashcroft, though, onto it. Links up with his brother Will. Inside 50. What a beautiful delivery to Logan Morris. The Ashcrofts recovering the situation for Brisbane in the middle. Morris puts it into the pocket for Hipwood, who's on a tighter angle at about 30 metres out.
You can hear the fans saying, what are you doing that for, Logan? There's a Coleman medal to be won.
Yeah.
I wonder if there's just a little more anxiety attached to the kick now too with Eric Hipwood. Probably be inclined to trust Logan Morris more given the season that he's had. Eric Hipwood. Searching for his first today. He squeezes it through.
Here we go.
Disregard everything I just said. Brisbane now powering away 16-9-105 to 17-52.
This has been an enjoyable.
The Tyre Power, your trusted tyre expert scoreboard.
How much of that, Hodgie,
enjoyable
is
second half?
Logan Morris just trying to get some confidence into Eric Hipwood. I mean, he was clearly an easier shot for Logan, but just, you were talking about it before, Hipwood's still got a locking his spot for this team going into finals.
Yeah, and I think if you look where Logan was, he was on a 45-degree angle and he was still kicking from 50 metres. So he turned around and saw Hipwood was all by himself. Yes, he was in the pocket, but if you look at Eric Hipwood over his career, he's actually very consistent when he's snapping around from the pocket. So there is a little bit of that other tall, looking after my other tall mate, hopefully that he can hit the scoreboard as well. He knows how tough a role it is at centre-half forward.
Balled up in the middle, fought in
Game's
the ruck.
not my
Brisbane against Sweet.
Thank you,
Francis.
Dale. And that is true.
Handballs to Burgoyne, defensive handball to Bergman, standing start kick into the 50. Good mark.
There could be
to
a comeback.
Marshall on his chest in front of Gallup. And he's marked 40 out from goal right of centre. St Kilda 2 goals, North Melbourne 2 behinds, halfway through the first term at Marvel Stadium. Around the grounds for Chemist Warehouse, but here at the
Sport's
Gabba,
been
Todd
pretty
Marshall,
average
a
this
chance
year.
for a second goal.
So,
In he comes. Most of the ground now at the Gabba under shade. Just his 7th disposal, but he's got his second goal. 8-10-58 Port. Brisbane
was a poor
16-9,
goal,
105. So that does break a run of 7 unanswered goals to
completely
Brisbane.
dead crowd.
And it all happened in a rush as well. I talked before about just
There.
before three-quarter time in the start of the last quarter. 15 minutes of playing time. Brisbane had kicked 7 goals before that one there from Todd Marshall.
There's no surprise who got it from the centre bounce. Horn Francis.
It's
was
a
the
great
one who
game if you're a Lion
got the
supporter.
clearance, gave it off to Burgoyne.
Maybe
Burgoyne
not
was
great
able to
from the
surge it
neutral
forward, but
point. Bit of a flogging.
This is, you can sort of see where Port Adelaide players out there, they're flat on their feet. They have given absolutely everything in the first 2.5, 3 quarters of this football game. And you sort of see after that game, there wasn't much of a reaction. They look like they're absolutely spent.
They're cooked.
It is a warm day up here as well. 21, 22 degrees, especially if you're not used to it, can take it out of you.
Back in the middle, Fort wins his own ruck work and wins the clearance inside 50. Backing back, Josh Lai takes a nice intercept mark. Becoming renowned for that.
How many likes have we got?
There's a bit to like
3.
about this young kid.
No one bothers to smash
Port
the like
Adelaide
button
side for
nowadays.
many years to come. Being taken in the pre-season supplemental selection period last year. Port Adelaide turned it over on the broadcast wing. Fletcher now delivers it to Morris. He's up against the boundary line in the left forward pocket, 35 out. Lining up for goal number 4. In what until the third quarter was appearing to be a bit of a quiet day for Logan. To put the margin back out to 53 points. The Robot Building Supplies, Robot's got its scoreboard. There's a few deep breaths. Snaps it on the right foot. And it's just out to the right-hand side. So a minor score for Brisbane. 16-10, 106, leading Port Adelaide 18-58. You're listening to AFL Nation for DD and Victoria Police.
Oh, they've turned it over from the kick in. So the Lions have got it back at the 50 with Dunkley. Thought about playing on. He thought about chipping short into the pocket. Now he's decided, maybe I'll have to take the shot. Kind of reluctantly because he is on his absolute maximum distance. Just outside the 50 at right half forward. At the school end, it's in bright sunshine, which is the end that Dunkley is kicking to here. We're right behind the kick. It's another one of those floating kicks, and Loman's come out and marked at the top of the square. He gives the thumbs up and says, "Thanks for that, Josh." It was like a UFO going through the air, not a football. And Loman from the top of the square will come in now and kick his 3rd goal.
There you go.
So it did get a bit tense for Brisbane through the middle phase. Now they've all got bright, big smiles on their faces, laughing at Josh Dunkley and his kicking action. But the result was pretty good. Brisbane now 17 goals, 10, 112 to Port 8-10, 58. And Loman has got 3 for the game and now 39 for the season.
I'm just watching Kai Loman try and give Josh Dunkley the thumbs up as a great pass, and Dunkley just started laughing and shook his head. That's actually hard to do. Josh Dunkley's kick, a floater that was going, it's actually spun every different way
for the score.
Before it's got to Kai Loman, but it's almost as bad as Logan Morris's shot that went through after he almost missed his foot as well. But this is we've spoken about this. Is what they can do. They can turn it around. You look through of their ability to be able to score. They've kicked 13 goals, 5 from turnovers. Just goes to show the pressure, but then they're composed to be able to.
People don't click the like button. Most people just sit back and just listen to the match. So the vast majority of people watch these streams are locals, which is fine. We love our locals.
Ball in dispute, collected now by Bailey. He puts it out in front of Charlie Cameron on the burst. Rockets the handball. Searching little dinky kick from McKenna into the pocket. Hipwood collects up against the boundary line. Squaring footy, top of the square, intercept mark. Taken by Bergman, getting back for Port Adelaide. He looks to clear defensive 50 to Bammett at left half back for Port Adelaide. Trailing by 54 points. Not far enough to Burgoyne. He's disposed of by Lohman now to play. Lohman's eyes lighting up, wanting to take off, but it had already gone out of play. So throw in right half forward for Brisbane. With 10 to play in the final term around the grounds. It is St Kilda 2-2-14 leading North Melbourne 1-8. There is 7 minutes to play in that opening term, and we'll take you the second quarter once we're finished.
Ball gets thrown in, comes to the front, it comes to Lockie Neal, squeezes a kick, juggling, marking Bailey. It was a 15-metre dart from Neal from congestion. Just centred it up, and Bailey coming out marking.
Oh, so the kicking's gone better.
He wanted a 50-metre penalty for sort of the mark encroachment, but he's not getting it.
We've kicked 8 behinds in the first half and only 2 in the second half.
Chance from here, Zach Bailey, from just outside the 50. Oh, he wants to take the man on the mark on, then gets in a bit of trouble. So on the left, he has to kick the full forward instead. Oh, massive collision. Ball spits into the pocket. Cameron got tackled without the ball. No free kick. Rayner gets tackled. Gave the handball to Will Ashcroft. High kick. Won't be a goal. It bounces on the point in the goal square. Lohman a chance. This is chaotic. Handball to Hipwood, who's handballed it straight to the opposition, and away on a run goes Zato. He got tackled. Ball turned over. Dunkley wins it back. Another kick to fall forward. Up they go, Cameron! Charlie Cameron's taken a screamer. Plays on and goals.
Bam!
And huge on Denver. All sorts of things were happening there.
60-point lead now.
It was a special finish from Charlie Cameron.
We've kicked 13 goals to Port's 4.
They say normally things go from chocolate to boiled lollies. It went from boiled lollies to chocolate
for the second half. So
that was
we've definitely ripped the game apart.
Dunkley thought, bugger this, I'm just going to kick it at the top of the goal square, and you could see Charlie just come from the side. He's jumped up and floated, and all of a sudden another boost from the pack.
Percentage
and that got the crowd up and about.
Our percentage is now 120.8 compared to the Crows 113.7 and the Hawks 124. So we are edging a little closer to the Hawks percentage. So this is what we needed, to be honest.
I forgot about Draper's goal for goal today. I better change my notes.
Keep that percentage going.
Luke Hodge, the team panel service.
How do you forget that, Hodgie?
He's a ruckman. You normally forget what ruckmen do.
Burgoyne goes towards half forward for Port Adelaide. Bergman interrupted by Fletcher in the contest. In fact, no, it may even be coming further back.
Ben McAvoy, Jonathan Segler, just getting on the phone to Hodgie.
All quality players. Just don't let him take a bounce and kick it from the centre bounce.
Will Ashcroft a little reckless with a high tackle on Zato at half forward. And he goes wide to Wines. Pokes the kick into the forward pocket.
They do have a drawn hand.
Vicentini takes the mark on a 45-degree angle, 40 out.
The one thing
we do verse them
I know they're
the next couple of weeks, so
that might be. They are fun to watch. They give you highlights.
Yeah, you had to draw the game, didn't you, Collingwood?
Obviously, you need a lot of skill.
It's making our life hard for us.
Strategy to blokes to move out of their road for space to open up, but they're willing to take those risky kicks. They're willing to allow their forwards to try and take.
You never know. Hawks might drop a game and we beat them.
They can be really, really
come into play.
Which has been demonstrated.
Strange things have happened this quarter.
quarter or so. Vicentini lining up for his second. He's put it through 2 weeks in a row. The young ruckman's got 2 goals. A little glimmer of hope for Port fans, who overall, Hodgie, you'd have to be impressed with the desire, the hunger, the appetite, the pressure that they brought for pretty much 2.5 quarters before it's fizzled away for them, and Brisbane have been able to capitalise.
Yeah, you're spot on. You sort of sit back and go, well, you've got a team who's going for 3 premierships in a row compared to a team who's just had a change of coach, and then you add in the Brisbane Lions have a fully fit list apart from probably Darcy Gardner's the only person to jump back in. And if you go through the Port Adelaide injuries of Pau Pepper, Butters, Rosie, Lukosis, Farrell, Radigaloi, Leah, Joe Richards, what they did for the first 2.5 quarters to try and make the Brisbane Lions panic and put them under pressure to turn into a real fight. You got to pat him on the back, which his talent has just shown up at the end.
And it's 2 weeks in a row they've had to do it too, up against Fremantle last week. So that's even more impressive to be able to.
Yeah, absolutely. Two of the best
first half was really good.
Horn Francis gets the clearance inside 50. Wilmot's well tackled by Dirt, and that's holding the ball.
Yeah. There's some
Wilmot
positives
did get a kick away, but it was too late according to the umpire.
He was laying on his back after he did the 360, so he probably gave him enough time to get rid of it.
Wilmot's still shaking his head, can't believe it. Corey Durden directly in front. It'll take his best. He'll have to kick it from pretty much the front part of the square. But he is directly in front. Leans back on it. Contact's pretty good. Is it far enough? Not quite. Draper's there, knocks it through. Puts both hands above his head saying, how good am I? He's kicking goals and he's saving goals. Brisbane 18-10, Port Adelaide 9-11. We've got 22 minutes on the clock in this final term on the Robot Building Supplies scoreboard.
Yeah, there's your rush behind.
Adam Wide, Luke Hodge, Matthew Cox with you this afternoon on AFL Nation. The DD say yes, IDD, and Victoria Police careers apply now. As Andrews pokes it short to Leicester, half back. The Brisbane Lions, who had to put up with the challenge from Port Adelaide earlier in the day, but as they so often do, they have a patch where they just generate all the momentum. Levi Ashcroft caught in a pickle, just released the handball in time to Gallop. He sends it to left half forward. Lohman dancing his way through traffic, puts Neil into some space. He hooks it towards the vacant goal square and doesn't get a kind bounce. It slams into the post. A minor score, 18-11, 119 to 9-11-65.
He got a Muralitharan bounce. It was a big off-spitter.
I think he got a little spray from Cam Rayner as well, but not giving the handball to him running past.
Scrappy kick coming out, it's coming back. Neil handballs to Lohman, who handballs straight to Aaliyah. This is all under pressure. Bergman feeds a handball. Now a bit of space for Port. To kick into the 50 in front, Georgiades. That's a good mark. It's always hard to beat Leicester in a one-on-one, but he did it that time. He's going to play on here with a little chipping ball. That works, and Darcy Byrne-Jones has marked it. Gallop just pushed him over. The umpire said that was okay, and Darcy Byrne-Jones will go back and take the shot.
Georgiades just got that cramp come back to him. The one that hit him after he missed that shot from 45. He actually looks like he's in a bit of trouble now, though. The fatigue has got to him.
He needs the pickle juice. Darcy Byrne-Jones coming up for his 15th disposal. Floating forward, and now not kicking a goal. He just kind of poked at that one and never had the height on it. The accuracy was okay and just got knocked through from behind easily. Port 9-12, Brisbane 18-11. Around the grounds for Chemist Warehouse, and Kilda have got 4 of the first 5 goals of the game at Marvel.
As Brisbane goes straight up the corridor, Bailey flicks it out wide, searching for Dunkley, who takes an acrobatic mark. Gave the handball off quickly to Tunstall. He drives it inside 50 for Charlie Cameron. He was told, quickly look further afield now, go back and take the shot. The slide angle about 25 out. There's 4 to play in the final term. Lining up for his 3rd goal this afternoon in what's been a milestone match for him. 200 games of the Brisbane Lions.
There we go.
And he splits it for his 3rd. back out to 59 points.
We look at the end of the day, and they go through the Brisbane Lions from their 19 goals. They've just had a fair spread of goal kickers as well. You've got all your forwards that they've consistently hit the scoreboard. You've got Morris, who's battled on after having a tough first half, kicking 3 goals, 3. Charlie Cameron, as you mentioned, kicked 3 too. Loman's got his 3. Zach Bailey got his 3. Then you followed up with Will Ashcroft, Rayner with a couple each. So when you look to shut down 1 or 2 of their forwards, you've got so many of those dangerous players who can step up and hit the scoreboard, especially when they get a run on it. So many inside 50s in the second half.
That is true.
Well, Hodgie, they've kicked 14 goals in the second half, Brisbane. So 7 in the third and 7 now in the final term. And that really is flexing their muscles. In the middle, Sweet takes it out of the ruck. Kicks to half forward, it's coming back. Bash back Brisbane's way. Out towards half forward. Lohman in front, took it on the bounce. Got rid of 1 tackle, got rid of 2 tackles. Handball's out. Now the kick into the 50. There's another shot coming up here for goal. Bailey's marked it. Just inside the 50 at right half forward. And this is going to be important in the context of the season, the goals that they're kicking here, because it is pushing up their percentage. We talked about that before play. It didn't look like it was going to be.
We've talked about that before too.
At half time. It is now. Fletcher kicking the ball onto Bailey's chest. A chance for goal number 4 for Zach Bailey from right half forward at the 50. No good.
Man.
Out to the right. Missing quite badly. And only a behind. 19-12, 126 Brisbane. Port Adelaide 9-12, 66. So it's an even 10 goals. The lead for the Lions with 2.5 minutes to play on the Tyre Power scoreboard. Your trusted tyre experts.
Nice mark taken by Bergman. Right half back for Port Adelaide. Goes up, but it's interrupted by Dunkley. We'll poke it short back to the broadcast wing. Neil. Not the distance, they had to play on. Retreats ground. Spots a man in the heart of defensive 50. It's Gallop. Just happy to maintain possession here, Brisbane. Zorko. Oh, horrible kick from Zorko. You don't usually associate it with him, those types of kicks, but Burgoyne cut it off. Gave it to Horn Francis. His kick cut off in the middle of the ground. Then Fort and Hipwood both pulled out of it. Not sure which wanted it more. Sweet came through, said thank you very much. Beat 2 tacklers. Throws it on the boot inside 50. Marshall trying to go with a fist in the end. Out the back, Andrews to Fletcher. And Brisbane finds some composure with Tunstall.
90 seconds to play. Just a reminder, almost immediately after this game, we'll go to Marvel Stadium for St Kilda and North Melbourne. The Saints 16 points up on the Kangaroos at quarter time. Part of our doubleheader AFL Nation Sunday. Port have got the footy back just forward of the wing. Lateral ball into Darcy Byrne-Jones. He'll kick into the middle. Oh, it doesn't get the line, the fall. This is problems, real problems here. Although doing okay in the end was O'Brien, who gave the handball to Willier. Back to O'Brien.
Just end the match already, folks. I'm done.
Wide handball to Bergman from the 50. It's usually a good kick. This one isn't bad, but it's away to the left. Just missing to the left-hand side for a behind. Port Adelaide 9-13-67. Brisbane 19-12, 126. As I said earlier, 14 goals to Brisbane in the second half.
And a powerful display. Neil has it in the heart of defensive 50 for Brisbane. He just works it sideways to Answorth. Now Levi Ashcroft up to Bailey. 3 goals for him this afternoon. To Will Ashcroft, who's also kicked the 2. And had a mountain of the footy. Too short for Charlie Cameron. Under a little bit of pressure from Lai, who's trapped it in. And Lai's done well to win the free kick. Late for Port Adelaide. Inboard to Aaliyah. Want to be quick. Oh, Aaliyah's kick smothered by Neil. Bounce back into the favour of Aaliyah. And they go home right on the siren. It won't matter. Brisbane nullify it right on the line. 7 wins in a row
That's right.
For the Brisbane Lions, they remain
Lions unplugged the power.
A nice little buffer heading into the final month of the season. 59-point winners, the Lions at the Gabba over Port Adelaide.
We're going to cut off the radio because I'm heading off. Yeah. So that was a good match. Hopefully people enjoyed it. And things worked out. But yes. Good stuff by the Lions. 7 wins in a row. But yeah, next week will be the Blues versus the Lions. So I'm looking forward to that one. See how we go. But yeah, that's going to be it. So big thanks to everyone who turned up, Mr. Dale and Lloyd, who's been around the whole time. I think we've only had 2 chatters. And all of our lurkers and people who are watching in the background. But that's going to be it for me for this stream, and I shall see you next time. That's all good.